Hello, everybody out there in podcast land. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. Lone Wolf Paintball is an online supplier that has been around for a very long time. They've actually been Michigan's premier paintball field and supplier since 1987. Now expanding into the online retail store, they are really trying to do their best to supply everything you need to the paintball community. They have it all. You can head over to lonewolfpaintball.com. If you want Field 1, HK, GI, Dye, it doesn't matter. They got it. You can surf the website. You can check it out. They have what you need, guaranteed. And they also boast excellent customer service and same-day shipping. That's pretty badass. You could go to the website, order something, and it's going to be sent out that day. That's fantastic. That's amazing customer service. So again, guys, if you would like, you could head over to lonewolfpaintball.com. You could also check them out on YouTube and Instagram. Their Instagram is Lone Wolf PB, and their YouTube is Lone Wolf Paintball. And you can see and keep up to date with all their latest deals, their sales, their content. It's a lot of really fun stuff. Play the Game Podcast is excited to have them on board, and you guys should head over and become part of the community. All right. This episode is brought to you by G2 Paintball. G2 Paintball is back, and you guys should be incredibly excited. If you are in the area, in Arizona or anywhere on the West Coast, you want to make sure you do not miss this. Being in paintball shape is one of the most important things to being a top-level player. Not just a top-level pro, but a top-level player in any division. If you are trying to win tournaments, you want to be in the best physical condition possible. Paintball is so physically demanding. It requires so much of your physical ability, and G2 Paintball is designed to help you maximize that potential both on and off the field. G2 Paintball played a huge role in our World Cup win. It pays dividends to get out there and do these exercises, do these kinds of training. It is so difficult. It is very tough, but it's going to put you in position to win events, and that's what we're here to do. I teach this at all of my clinics. I always preach the importance of physical fitness in paintball ability. You can get all the way to the finals, but if you are only at 60% and a less talented, less skilled, less experienced team is at 90 or 100%, they are likely going to beat you. Do not let your physical ability be the reason you guys are not winning events. Get signed up for G2. If you guys are in the area, make sure you get active, get involved. It is owned and operated by Victor Gamboa and Rusty Glaze. You have players like Tyler Harmon, myself, Ryan Greenspan, all part of the entire G2 program. You guys can stay up to date with everything at g2paintball.com, and we hope to see you at an event very soon. We are brought to you by Heal Brand. Heal Brand is the best CBD company that we have ever come across. I've been taking CBD products for years now, and I absolutely love it. But Heal Brand has taken my CBD consumption level to the next tier. This stuff is really the luxurious, high-quality, best brand that you're going to come across. Their whole claim to fame is the nanotechnology. It's the real deal. The claim is that through their nanotechnology, the CBD can actually break through the cellular wall and get into the bloodstream much faster and more efficiently. So you need less to do more. Often CBD products, you'll need to take it for a couple weeks before you really start noticing all of the benefits. With this stuff, as soon as you take it, you notice it right away. Within 15, 20 minutes, you're feeling the benefits of CBD. CBD is great for inflammation, anxiety, sleeping, all sorts of different stuff. CBD is really exploding on the scene because it has such a wide variety of benefits. I personally love to use CBD before I go to bed so I can get a full, well-rested night of sleep. Sleep is so crucial. It's so important. If you want to recover well, if you want to fight off depression and anxiety and those unwanted emotions, proper sleep is where you need to start. CBD products really help me do that, and Heal Brand CBD has a wide variety of options of different products, different formulas. It is all natural. It's amazing. This stuff is fantastic. You guys can head over to healbrand.com, check them out, and there is an exclusive offer to all of our PTG listeners. If you use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout, you'll get 10% off. This episode is brought to you by Transfuse. Transfuse is the only all-natural electrolyte drink that you guys need to have in your cabinets. We love this stuff. We've been using this for an entire season now. This stuff is amazing. I feel great when I drink Transfuse. I drink it every single day. I don't go a day without putting a packet of Transfuse in my water. It's very easy, very portable, easy to travel with, and delicious to drink, which means that you're going to love drinking it and you're going to drink more of it, which is going to be incredibly beneficial to your health. Has magnesium, potassium, sodium, which are all amazing for proper hydration. It has zinc, vitamin C, vitamin B, and choline. These things are incredible cognitive enhancers and immune boosting formulas that you don't want to miss out on, especially in times like this. I'm telling you, I drink Transfuse every single day. I love it. Tyler does as well. Anybody who has tried it has been just pouring with great feedback back to us. There's a reason that they're at all the NXL events and a lot of the top teams and top professionals are using this product. Do not walk around dehydrated. I never realized how dehydrated I was, even when I was drinking all sorts of water. It's not enough. You need the proper nutrition. You need the right ingredients. Transfuse has done a great job of curating the perfect formula. Transfuse is absolutely spectacular, and for all of our listeners, there is a special deal for any Play the Game listener. If you head over to translabs.com, that's TRANZLABS.com, and use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout, you will get 10% off. If you subscribe, which means they auto ship you your package every single month, whatever you want, whatever type, whatever flavor, whatever electrolyte formula you desire, they will give you an additional 11% off. So it becomes a 21% discount exclusively for all Play the Game listeners. Huge shout out, and we are incredibly thankful for our supporters. And if you guys would like to go support them, it's translabs.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME. What's going on, PTG fam? Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. As always, we are very excited to have you here and can't wait for you to hear this awesome episode with Demetrius Ninios of San Antonio X Factor. Meter is doing a ton of amazing things in the paintball community right now and just dominating both on and off the field. So it was amazing to catch up with him after the ICC. He's got a lot coming up and a lot of really cool things to share. So without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication. And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game. He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Demetrius Ninios, the man, the myth, the legend. First one on the episode, or on the podcast, I should say, with all of the new equipment. And funny enough, you got the same stuff as us, dude. This one's about to be insane.
Had to come correct.
Yeah,
had to.
Came correct. This is the first show that all of the guests and hosts are dialed in.
Yeah. Next level.
I love it. How you doing, man?
I'm great. Everything's good with me. How about you guys?
Doing good. Doing very well. What kind of painting do we have in the background there? What do we got there?
We got a little something.
Yeah, that's not something light. That's heavy duty.
Yeah,
that's dope.
I don't really. We recently copped this.
Yeah, that's
but
sweet.
It's like obviously some palatial.
Yeah, I'm over in Europe right now, basking. In the mothership is what it looks like.
I got breakfast with Leonardo, and now we're chilling here with you guys.
I think you got to change your background to the Venetian right now, Tyler.
Oh, there we go. All right, I'm going in.
Get in there.
Yeah,
get in there.
Yeah, it's good to see you, brother. Man, it's been a crazy season. It's been a crazy, COVID times, but thank God we have paintball. We have, Play the Game podcast in the community. How's everything been going, and where are you at these days?
Everything's been great for me. Obviously, the initial first part of the year was weird for everybody, but definitely made the most out of my quarantine. Got into the stock market heavy. Yeah. Recently copped a house. Byproduct of the stock market. Shout out to the game.
There we go.
Yeah,
you're playing the game to the fullest.
For real. Yeah, living in Dallas, Texas, right downtown. So things are great. Things are really positive right now.
Good. Love that.
Yeah, awesome, man. Congrats. That's big news to get your own property and take that step. That's huge, man. That's something that a lot of players, or we talk about it often as far as like being a professional paintball player, what that even means. You have to do so much outside of paintball and really treat everything you do as a business, and that's definitely one of the steps.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about paintball. If you chose to see, like what you just said, like there's opportunity everywhere to treat everything in your life like a business, or appreciate it, and treat it like one. The house thing is a major upgrade for me. I didn't see it coming this soon, but things lined up. And I know, Marcelo, do you own your situation, right?
I do. Yeah.
So you were one of the early ones.
Humble condo here.
Yeah, one of the early pros to get their own spot. That's an accolade too. You beat a lot of people, so that's awesome.
Real estate is the most important asset. If you can own real estate, you should definitely do that. Even if you have to save up for a year or 2 years or whatever it is, because I know that it has changed all of our lives sitting here, in this chat. I I bought my first real estate when I
Yep.
was like 21, and I got it for like 150. It was wrecked. And then I was in the line of doing construction, did some work, put in the carpet, the paint, did the bathrooms, and then was able to sit on it for like 7 years. And that's the only reason I'm even able to be sitting here on this show or
Yeah.
having this conversation with you guys, was because of real estate. So
Mhm.
definitely it's a powerful game. That's how, I mean, sheesh. Ask the millionaires. I'm sure they're
Yeah,
all
yeah. Pick up any
the,
book. It's
yeah,
like right there. Real
yeah,
estate is everything.
exactly. Yep.
It can be a great form of income for sure. Ryan's actually doing very well with that too. He got a rental property out in Big Bear. He's crushing it with that. It's the way, dude. And Ty, if I remember right, you crush it on that house in Northern
Yeah.
California. That was a
Yeah.
dominant performance in the real estate.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Even Archie is he's flipping
Yeah,
homes right now.
yeah,
So it's trending,
right.
Mhm.
obviously.
For sure,
But
for sure.
It's so much fun too. It's like a really, like, you're hands on. You're in the process. You got to be fully in control, and like you're playing the game. You got to play the time, the clock, the situation, and make it all move and groove. It's a good time.
yeah.
Totally,
Yep.
man. Yeah. So, Meter, dude, you got a lot going on outside of, paintball is obviously, but inside paintball seems like there's a lot of exciting things coming up. Got the Astra event. I know a lot of people are curious about that. You want to talk to us about that a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah. As far as the Astra event, Astra is actually a brand that I'm doing and using as like a vessel for any ideas from not only me, but any of my friends or anybody that we can actually like move forward with that idea. Obviously, with Play the Game, you guys know it's easier to use a brand than it is to use Marcelo and Tyler, right? The brand can go places that you may not want to or can't. So, 17 years in the game and countless conversations of how we can improve, what we can do, what we need to do, but never what are we doing, or like what's the next step? How do we get this moving? So that's where this all kind of came together. Probably at the end of World Cup, 2 weeks after. I just was like, I'm over it. If I'm going to continue to be in the game, I have to be leaving a mark, or at least shaping it the way that I want to see it. Um, and hopefully enriches for everybody. But
Mm-hmm.
that's for the brand. As far as the event, that idea came probably 3 months ago. We just wanted to do an event that the initial design was going to be the lower 8 pro teams and the top 4 semi-pro teams. And the methodology there really is because there's teams. It's like Formula One. We know the 5 teams that are going to win, or who are going to be in, those spots, the slots on Sunday. 5, 6 teams. And of course, now the lower teams are getting better, but just even past 20 years, it's still like the same names, same teams. And then these guys will phase out and they won't even have a pro win. And we all know, if you're listening to this podcast, how hard it is to win at any level, let alone the pro level. But there needs to be more paintball. There needs to be more winners. I want more money to be played for. A lot of pro guys, you were not doing it for the money, but you obviously are doing it for something, right? If it's not only the passion, you have to have some initiative or incentive, some incentive to go for it. When we all came into the game, I know I came into it in '05, and you guys were obviously right in that same like '03, '04, '05 train. And they were playing for 50 grand,
Mm-hmm.
and Hummers and all the
Oh
crazy
yeah.
stories, and somewhere along the way, the industry or whatever, blame whatever you want, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not here to do the blame game. I'm here to do what we're going to do now. And so that's what started this whole thing. The event is pretty much team funded, right? So $1,500 entry, $15,000 prize. So it was going to be for 10 teams, and that's 100% back to the teams. We did 12 to offset costs a little bit and to bring more teams in. And of that, we're still giving back like 96%, So there's a zero profit for us. If anyone wants to do events or host an event, or if you have, it is an expensive ordeal. Referees, mouths got to be fed. you got to pay your field, you got to pay for paint, you got to do a lot of things. So this wasn't designed to make money. And that's where a lot of invitationals, maybe not invitationals, but tournaments like this in the past may have fallen short, is someone's trying to make more money than they should, right? We need to get the ball rolling with the teams and the fun and bringing together all of the dynamics that you want to see before anyone makes money. And I feel like paintball, that is the Achilles heel to, or the Achilles to the whole deal. I think we pull profit too early.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with making money, but we can have a nice balance. We can definitely.
And I'm not saying you should do my business plan by any means, but for sure, if I do another one, the business plan will be altered. But I want to show that, right now you get this amount return for your money, and this is the other side of that spectrum. Anywhere in between there and there, it's good with me. And I hope someone else does a tournament like this so I can go play in it. That's like the motivation. Hopefully we spark a little butterfly effect and
more
get that
paintball
going.
is what the world needs. We need more paintball. Like, that is the bottom line. We need, and what does Astra stand for? Is it an acronym or anything like that?
No, it's Latin for star. Like ad astra, to the stars. There's millions of play on of words of Latin phrases that has the astra thing in it. Why I chose the name, it just felt right, just felt like the right thing to do. And that's, we're reaching, baby. We're reaching. Exactly. We're mooning it. We're going to the moon, baby.
We're always saying to the moon, 100%.
Yeah.
Star life.
Question for you, Meter, because it's amazing. Obviously, a lot of paintball players have been asking for something like that for a long time. The pros want to make more money if we're competing. I remember my first tournament with the Ironmen in Chicago, 2006. We got second place, and I got like a $2,200 check. Second place. We didn't even win. And we had 15 guys on the roster too.
Yeah. 3 lines.
It's like, okay, this is crazy, and like you said, it's not that we're in it for the money, but the reality is we make a lot of sacrifice for what we do. And in order to be good at what we do and compete at the highest level, it takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication. And I don't think, we're complaining. I think it's that, like you said, we want to make it better. We want to make it so that a young kid can look at it and say, Mom, look, I want to do this when I'm older, and here's why. There's a lot of benefits. There's great things that can come from this. The question is, how do you make something like that sustainable? If there's no profit, how realistic is it to keep that a sustainable product?
Well, then that's why this is an experiment. The Astra is a brand. We're not a league. We're not a series. We're not any of the things that we may have been labeled online. We are certainly a brand. And like I said, it's more so a vessel of ideas that we can make into reality and give product experiences or whatever. There's many, lines of attack of what we want to produce for our community. And to make it sustainable, I'd say sponsorship, right? Maybe like who your vendors are, your sponsors. We have outside sponsorship for this event. My family, we own a real estate company. So the George and Noonan group has stepped up to the plate and decided to be a major sponsor for the event, as well as some other paint in industry sponsors. And we're not taking a lot of money from these guys. It's really like more so a donation. If you want to be a part of this and jumpstart this with me, like, come aboard, because we're going. So let's do this. If you have anything to spare, or like anything really. So that's things to offset. Now, to make it sustainable, you would obviously, the current way that tournaments are ran, they take your entry fee and then they divide it, and your prize pool gets watered down a little bit. And they for the NXL, they have a lot of people on their salary, payroll, a lot of people to pay. For independent events, it's far easier to do. And Tom has spoken to that publicly, where, one of his biggest things going into this year or last year was, he proposed smaller events, and people kind of were shocked at that. But the overhead to do these major events is so massive that there isn't much at the end of the day for anybody. And that's not sustainable either. The PSP, before that whole mutiny or whatever we're going to call that, they had a business plan for sustainability, not growth. And I was really young when I heard that, but it shook me to my core. Like, I remember vividly, Dallas 2015, they had a sustainability plan and not a growth plan. And I'm definitely more optimist at heart. So, I'm always going to be thinking what we can do to be better, what is on the other side of anything. But I feel like, the individual events are the way to grow. And we don't need to turn to one person or one league or anybody to do that. We're paintball players. We can do whatever we want within that, and you can decide what is profitable and what's not. It's very simple to do. So that would be my long and short answer of it.
No, I think it's a great answer, actually. Because you're right. It doesn't need to be a league. It doesn't need to be connected to anything. As long as there is an opportunity for players to go and compete for something of that magnitude, that's at the end of the day all that matters. That's
That's
exactly
where we all started.
totally. Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, when I was a kid, the prizes were definitely more like awe-inspiring. I'll never forget like seeing Dynasty win these huge things and being like, "Whoa, hold on a second. I can do that?" Like that could be something that happens to me, and that really drew me into the whole process too. Is that crazy nostalgia of that happening was really something powerful. As a youngster to see that kind of thing, and it definitely played a role in my passion for playing, and watching all the pro guys.
Yeah, and when we were, playing our local events, the big thing that we won were guns, gear, and things like that, right? And that like would revolutionize your world. You play a tournament, your 3-man event, you won a DM5 or something. It's like,
Yeah,
man, I'm rocking a Spider or whatever, and now I got a DM5. Like that was electric,
huge.
electric and
Yeah.
whatever. So as you progress, you're playing for things of more and more value to you, and then now we're now we're at the point where we're adults and we're playing for money, and the gear isn't the most, and we're also pros, right? So like we get the gear, we don't need the gear as a prize. We want either cash or something tangible. I want like a
Uh-huh.
motorcycle or whatever it is.
Dude,
um
Dynasty, they won
so
Hummers, they won Mustangs, they won all sorts of cool stuff, motorcycles. What
yeah,
are you talking
and
about?
if
It's insane,
yeah, no, that was reality
Right,
then.
right.
And we
Mhm.
just kind of hit a pause button for whatever reason. And I think it may be because of lack of creativity or, many different whoever is doing, a lot of different things can go down that rabbit hole. But I definitely believe there's a way. I mean, look at the world we live in today. And what I wanted to talk about when we were talking about the money, because we all have this same reaction where we kind of cringe about what the money thing is. But in reality, people post for money right now. You know, you get bread for anything. If you're a girl, you get
Yeah.
bread for a little booty pic. The boys, you do whatever you want. Whatever it is.
Mhm.
There's plenty of people who make money for less, right? So I think approaching the monetary point with like hesitancy is, I'm not a money guy, but like it's silly that we approach it that way, right? We are professionals. We sacrifice a ton of time for something, and I think it's more so a mishandle of the package why we don't get the bag, right? Like there's something not aligning here. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Mhm.
I mean everything.
Pick
Twitch.
one.
Yeah, pick any. There's money there, right? So there's a mishandlement of the package here.
Mhm.
Do you mean the
Interesting.
package as far as, like, the show that we put on, the
The
filming of
show,
what we do?
paintball, yeah, that, or paintball as a whole, right? Like, you see Jackson Frey, Ronnie Dizon, you guys, content creators within the sport. You guys are making some money. You're not doing it for nothing, right? You're getting something, whether it's whatever it is, you're getting something. Same thing for those guys. Any content creators today, they get something for their creation, content
Mhm.
created. So I think somewhere along the line, that's where I'm kind of going, is we're just not there yet, and when it
Mhm.
comes to the show, where it's the NXL or any film paintball thing, yeah, I just think there's a misalignment or target audience. I mean, Go Sports, for an example, they fish they fish in the same pond over and over again. That doesn't make sense to me. You have all
Totally
the
agree.
you got all the goodies behind the paywall, but these fish have already been hooked, baby. They don't have any more room. There's not one individual who's gonna bring in like 100 people because of their exposure. Check out my Go Sports link. That doesn't attract. I go on TikTok. Yosh Designs has 3 point something million views on a 18-second video.
Mm-hmm.
Pause.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Well, I would have
that
to.
is
I think that
not a
I get
working business plan.
at least a hundo in there for sure for Go Sports. I got to say that. I think Marcella gets a hundo. I think we get hundos in there for sure.
Yeah, it's few and far between, but yeah, we do our part. But Meter, you bring up a good point that we've talked about on the past. Tyler and myself have talked about, like, why wouldn't Go Sports? I understand them needing to make money off of their production. Totally get that.
Totally get that.
People like Maddie and Darren and Cena, they can't do it for free. This is their job, so they need to make money, and I want them to make money because I want them to make more money, because I know that they have paintball in mind and they would do the right things with that. But I think that they could make the same amount of money, if not more, if they just,
I think exponentially more.
for sure. But if they only put like Sunday behind a paywall, or even the semifinals and finals, I think people would still pay $9.99 a month, whatever it is, for that subscription, and then make all the prelim games free. You then talk about hooking people. People are now invested in the tournament. They're following teams along the way.
I mean, UFC, man. Not
UFC,
that we have
exactly.
necessarily the same thing of us bashing each other's faces in. That's like
we're getting there.
Primal. Yeah, we're getting close, and we can take the gloves off. We can do a little more. We can get a little melee
Turn it
action
into
in
hockey.
there.
It'd be like hockey then.
But they hooked a lot of people with their approach, and their pay-per-view approach is very unique. And I don't think it could be replicated. But what I was going with that is they did it. And they did it in a fashion I don't know if we have really experimented with.
Well, maybe this could help you. I've been rallying for tank tops and shorts in paintball. So,
that is,
idea.
I'm 100%, I'm about,
and also it cuts down on cheating too, because the tight, like almost like basketball style jersey, nice tight
the Christmas basketball gear that's like skin tight. Dude, I'm 100% there as far as like what I think we should be wearing.
Yeah. Or even,
I agree.
Something in that line, because first of all, I think it's going to be cool to get the video of a little bit of, I know it sounds terrible, but MMA is not for everybody, I guess, either. And neither is top level pro paintball. I think at the very top level, the pinnacle of the sport, put them in tank tops and shorts and let them get down and have some fun. That's not for everybody. I don't want everybody playing that style because it hurts and it's going to be a whole nother ball game. But I think at the pinnacle, I think we need to push it a little further with that kind of stuff.
We can do anything.
Yeah.
Like we can, that's the funny thing about paintball is we can do literally anything. There are no rules.
There's no rules here.
There's none. And it's crazy to me that we have lived.
There's a couple.
All right, we keep the goggles on. But besides that, I mean, as far as what you do with the game and how you play it, whether it's 5-on-5, 7-on-5, 7-on-7, however the hell you want to make it, you could do it. That's the beautiful part of, let's go.
I'm also rallying for the ultimate 10-man showdowns in pro with hyperball, airball, rec ball, and a pump session. So you got to play all 4 10-man. It's this crazy, experience. And I think that it would be really fun to film stuff like that and have cool stuff going on with the 10-man.
Do the paintball Olympics, You just got to go and play all the formats, all the styles.
Yeah.
Real quick,
that's cool.
I want to bring it back to the pay-per-view thing, actually, because I think pay-per-view works. It's worked in the past. You bring up PSP. I know for sure, it's my understanding, especially at that Dallas event, their numbers were just on a steady incline. Access was doing a great job. They were doing things pay-per-view. All the content in between events is free. You have great statistics.
I felt like it was approachable though. That's the difference. Paintball Access did a really good job of being like a user-friendly and approachable everything. They did the week night, whatever, podcast show thing, and then they recap everything similar to what you guys are doing, but with studio and all that. And they did a great job of pretty much everything. We just didn't give, all the paintball media stuff is just like too little too late, right? Like if Cassidy came in just now, it'd be insane. If Paintball Access came in, or, anything like that came in now, it would have been crazy because the world caught up to that. The media
Dude, shout
caught up
out to
that.
Cassidy. Oh my God.
For sure.
He's
Legend.
the best, dude. I was just talking with him. He's coming on the show soon, everybody. So be ready for Cassidy at some point. He's coming in here.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Speaking of all of this, though, do you plan on having a webcast at your event?
No live.
Okay.
For many reasons. It's a lot to do, a lot to like manage, and like I said, or I didn't say it on this yet, but for the event, it's designed to be a more intimate event and more for the people who are there. I want the players, I want the spectators, I want sponsors to be, whoever is involved live, to be there live, and I want them to enjoy what's going on. And we have a great weekend where everyone plays, gets better. A winner walks away with 15 grand. I mean, that's like pretty exciting stuff. Spectators,
that's awesome.
I want them to be able to do like a coin duel challenge. Shout out to Hormesis. So our lunch break, we're going to be able to have, literally like a spectator who drove in or anything challenge anybody, and that should be a pretty cool experience. And they get to be on the same field and just more close and intimate, where the NXL, it's not the NXL's fault. It's just the way the game is now. When we're done playing, we're going to the hotel and we're chilling. And there is a major gap between a pro player, between pros, like, which is crazy to say, and between the rest of the divisionals, right? Like, you guys do a great job because you're coaches and you're very active in the divisional community, but I know I'm no longer that active. I don't have all the time to go do that stuff right now. My priorities are a little different currently. Whereas years past, I was all about that and I was very approachable. But you see that, those waves for all the pros, it's
even at the NXL events, though, as much coaching as I do, and I have a bunch of teams usually that are there that I work with closely. When we're at NXL events, it's all about dynasty and our team. I know Tyler's the same, and you're right. It's hard. Like we play our games, we get out of there, we're trying to get some nutrients in us, get hydrated, watch film, and have a team meeting and get ready for the next day. So there's not really any of that mingling going on. You're right. It's a totally different feel.
Yeah. And it wasn't always that way. And there's many factors, but all I can control is what we're going to do for our event. And I want it to be very inclusive. And I want everyone to walk away with just the idea of like, what a crazy, awesome, like weekend of paintball that was. I don't want there to be any, frowny faces or shoulders.
Are you going to have a DJ?
Closed. We will have a DJ.
There we go.
Yeah,
it's going to be a party then. That's all that
we got. Food,
people just want a DJ and food, man.
Yeah, we got DJ, we got food, we got a vendor, a little trade show. I'm not going to, who knows? We'll see what is there, but I know we have booths coming. So that's what we want. We want to have the exclusivity. To bring it back to why we didn't do the live is because of that. There's a lot more that goes into running a live show. I definitely would be more in the, the little matrix cube of managing the live show, and there's just a lot. Expenses go through the roof with that too. And to be honest, live's great, but what other, I know, Marcelo, you watch a lot of sports, so this may not be a great one for you, but I know I don't tune into much live anything. And let me watch it on YouTube, like the curated chopped up version, because that's what I'm into. Unless it's like something crazy live, then I'm down. But other than that, like, you got TikTok, you got YouTube, and they chop it up and they give you what you want then and there. And that's what I want to give to paintball audiences.
So it sounds like you're going to have a cool post-production kind of thing.
Yeah. So we'll be doing everything in post. We will be releasing to YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, in their respectable formats.
Dude, I think you could do some really cool stuff in post-production with paintball, as far as slow motion and using a telestrator and breaking, certain shots or moves down and really putting the time into that. I think you could do a lot of really neat things in post.
Yeah, for sure. And we can get better too, right? So we're filming a tournament. So our plan right now is to release weekly matches. So with Split Deck, you kind of get 2 matches for one deal. But we'll be able to get better at whatever it is we're doing and change things, have a different voiceover. Maybe one match you don't want a voiceover, and we can play with it. Because that's what this is. This is an experiment to see what works, what doesn't, because I want to see the data. I want everyone else to see the data, and we go from there, like literally experiment. We see it. Awesome. This is what we got to do differently. Okay. If we do another one or whatever it is, we now have that knowledge that we can move forward with and produce a better product.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely do need like an eclectic of it. You need, the narration with the audio of the players playing and communicating, coupled with a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then something could be, pretty profoundly put together and then processed through all of those social networking platforms. And you can definitely hit the ground running pretty quick if you do it right, for sure.
Yeah, and we'll see if we do it right. We definitely feel good about it, but it's like,
Yeah,
this is a lot.
it's all a gamble. That's life.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of the whole thing, is to go for it and to see the change.
Yep.
Bring the change, whatever it is you want to do. You're doing it.
Yep, bring that light. Astra, that's pretty amazing stuff. I like what you're talking about, man. And I'm just a huge advocate of paintball, man. That's point blank simple. If we can play paintball, if we can film paintball, if we can have more events, if we can give more opportunities, man, we need to be doing that, because we have so many people invested their whole lives into this, and not only that, but it's just the funnest thing you'll ever do is go out and play paintball. So the more of that we can have around, the more joy and people getting out playing and having fun and enjoying this crazy ass game. That's what we need.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see all this post-production stuff. I'm sure you guys are going to do awesome stuff with it. What teams do you have?
We have AC Dallas, San Diego Aftermath. Let me pull up my list so I don't ramble. But NRG, LVL, Blast Camp, Mutiny. Let's pull it up. Sorry, I should have had this ready to go.
Blast Camp. I'm rooting for Blast Camp. We were just out there, and we want to see Blast do good. So we got Mutiny.
Yeah, so AC Dallas, San Diego Aftermath, AC Diesel, Seattle Uprising, NRG Elite, LVL, ML Kings, Mutiny, Blast Camp, New England Hurricanes, and then Chattanooga CEP.
There we go.
And we're looking for one more team. We have 11 of 12 currently. So we're looking to fill that spot. We're talking to teams, and we'll announce it once it's solidified. But that's who we got. Super excited with that cast. Some of the people that we initially invited couldn't make it for family reasons, financial reason, whatever. But stoked to have the people that we have, and really excited to see the semi-pro to pro matchup. There's Ryan Brand actually gave me this advice. There's always a debate online whether or not a team deserves to be in the pro division or whatnot, right? And you never get to settle the debate. So let's settle it. Let's see it. Like, you guys think you're great? I mean, let's do it. Let's see how great you are.
I love
either party.
Yeah, right. That's right.
So, and that's what's cool with paintball. You can do that. You can't really do that with an NFL team to a college team.
Yeah,
it's not even close. But paintball, there's skill, there's randomness, and any dog can have his day for sure.
100%. That's why whenever we play someone, people talk to me or ask me a question. I'm about to play these games against my opponent. They're like, what do you think? I'm like, they all have guns. Every one of those people, and they're not fools with it. Like, they all have eyes and a brain, and can.
Girls are still pointing at you.
Yeah. So it's like they can pull the trigger and a paintball flies through the air and it clips me, and then I'm out for that point. So it's like you got to be really dialed in and in the moment, really thriving in the moment to be great at this game. So I'm rooting for all those teams going out there. It's going to be a fun event. I can't wait to watch it. I think that there's going to be some pretty cool stories coming out of that, with some interesting, upsets and all that kind of fun stuff going on.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, that's what we want. We want the upset. We want the underdog. I mean, that's what makes it fun.
That's it. That's the game right there, man. It's and it's cool to see you guys being so creative and really, applying your your full selves to a tournament. It's not easy to do one of these things. You're going to see that there's hurdles you could have never predicted arise.
For sure.
And, you're going to have to bob and weave. Shout out to Bobby Weaverton out there. That's our boy. And you're just going to have fun with the whole process,
Bob and weave, baby. That's funny. A little inside joke there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is going to be held at Paintball Fit, right?
Yeah, this will be at Paintball Fit in Dallas, Texas,
Awesome.
which is an insane facility. Yeah, if you're involved in tournament paintball, I'm sure you've seen something from Paintball Fit or heard of it.
I'm going there soon. I'm stoked.
It's truly
nice.
The community that JD has done. Yeah, no, it's Marcelo, you were just here. What was your experience?
One of the best experiences I've ever had. JD's amazing. The whole crew, the whole community is awesome. So you picked a great facility to have that event at. The fields are pristine. So it's a great location. Yeah, can't say enough good things about them. Can't wait to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
you get free snacks. All the players get free snacks.
Free water, free snacks.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Just like the true Texas hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean they really are. I could go on and on about how sweet they all are and what they've done for not only myself but for hundreds, thousands of people who have come to their park and experienced what the side of paintball that we play. Right, a lot of fields are hybrids of recreational and speedball, and then you have a tournament thing too. What Paintball Fit, they're pretty hardcore in the tournament paintball, and that's what's really cool. We don't have a ton of that in the world for what we do. Paintball is such a massive thing, but for what we do, it's not necessarily the biggest piece of the pie. So it's really important to take care of the people who see what we're so passionate about, and they make their livelihood based on that. Like those guys, they're the real MVPs, like for sure.
Texas paintball is booming. Shout out to Texas and everything that's going on out there. The fields are doing great, and just the communities out there are thriving. We have tons of people from Texas that are a part of the PTG fam, and we love you all out there. And shout out to also, X Factor Paintball and everything that they do out there. Just amazing
Absolutely.
Hospitality and fields going all over the place in Texas, it seems like.
Yeah, it wasn't always that way. When I was coming up, it definitely wasn't that way.
Yeah,
it was
I know,
not at all.
Yeah,
but
that's crazy.
It's awesome. Yeah, we have amazing patrons like Alex Martinez and JD.
Meter, what's your favorite format? Well, I guess what's the format going to be at the Astra event? I know you said split deck, but is it typical race 2 format or?
Yeah, it'll be race 2, 5-on-5, split deck format. So pretty close to what we play currently. And there are some tweaks I wanted to try out, but I'm still going back and forth with what the exact thing is. I really wanted more time of paintball so we could practice and try out some of these different things I wanted to implement. Having teams start on the same side up until like 7 minutes, and then at 7:01 they change the sides because it would be easier to capture filming. But since we're doing it in post, it doesn't really matter, but still it would be kind of cool. The
I like that.
other methodology to it is, if we're all playing and let's say, you guys, I'm playing against you guys and we have to start on the left side and I'm getting rocked because I'm not strong on my left hand anymore because I'm not playing that much paintball, because for us, it's just kind of, paintball used to be where you would play every weekend no matter what. And of course, Galaxy, Astra, at Astra. But now we don't. A lot of people don't, whether it's because we only practice before NXL tournaments or whatever tournament you're about to prepare for. But when we were growing up, there was never such thing as an off weekend. And of course, we're getting older and there's more things to do, but I see it from the top down. So there needs to be something in my mind that motivates you to get to the field. Whether or not, there's motivation because there's free snacks at Paintball Fit, or you're struggling with your left hand and, for that first half of the match, I'm getting dominated. Then we switch sides. Now I'm dominating Tyler or whoever it is. And then Marcelo, you're getting mad at Tyler because you're like, dude, what are you doing? You're just doing great. But now it's 4-4. It's 4-0. What's going on, dude? And, Tyler gets the heat to get motivated to go to the field and play. And this is just totally cerebral thing, right? There's no practice to it, but I think it could be a real thing. I mean, if I'm losing my one all the time because of a left hand disadvantage, that's a joke, bro. You want to be a pro player, that you can't have a disadvantage, a fundamental disadvantage. So if you're struggling, you got to get to the field. And right now I just don't see that there's like and this may not be the answer, but I just don't see like a pressure point to motivate people to get there other than, oh, we lost and yeah, we got to train harder. What does
I
that
think
entail?
part
Like
of that
another
is,
hour of practice? Need
yeah,
more reps, baby.
you definitely need more reps. You can't have that be a weakness of yours. But I think part of that really is exactly what we're talking about. Not so much glamour at the top like there used to be. When we were all younger, you would look at the pros and you had Oliver Lang, who had a $100,000 a year contract for 5 years. People were in magazines. It felt a lot bigger than it is now. Even though with Go Sports and stuff like that, we're creating our own stories and there's definitely stars in the game and stuff like that. But I think that's all part of it. Prize packages, something to really compete for. It adds to the gravity of an event. And so I think it all goes hand in hand. But in the same breath, I want to push back a little bit because I truly am seeing a great generation of young players coming up that are at the field more than every weekend. They're playing 3 or 4 times a week, and maybe it's a smaller sample size than than I'm thinking, but there's a good amount of players that I have taken notice of, that are definitely putting in the work like we used to, and maybe more. And I do know some of the pros are as well, but I really think it does start with having something to compete for. It can't all be just because you want to be a pro player. There has to be a why. There always has to be a why.
No, well, absolutely.
The sport will die if mom doesn't approve.
Totally.
You got to get mom to approve. If mom can feel good about doing it, then it's going to be fine. If mom doesn't feel good, it's not going to be all good then. So we got to get paintball mom approved. We need also more moms playing paintball. So if you got a mom out there, get her to the paintball field so that she can see how awesome it is. And I think that there's a whole other realm of paintball we haven't even tapped into with the female market space. I think they would just crush it. I think that they would come in and just be like, wow, this isn't the stereotypical thing that I thought it was. And it's really strategic and fun and pushes me as a human in ways that I haven't been pushed before in life. And you really discover so much about yourself through this game. Having to be a part of a community and connecting with everybody. So I think that there's just so much still. We haven't even scraped the surface of paintball. We're little babies playing in the kiddie pool, and we don't even know how amazing it's going to be. But it's up to us to create that energy and continue to play more paintball and make it thrive. It's up to all of us.
Absolutely. And for the newer generation, they absolutely are playing a lot of paintball. And there's a lot of things that are to credit that to. One is the BKI thing. There's a whole fast track to getting better. Paintball is very much a thing. The better you are, the more fun it is. I mean, at least
absolutely.
I don't know if you can argue that. It's a lot more fun. It's always fun for sure. But like with anything, the deeper you get into anything, the more like subtleties like bring joy to you, right? And so they're absolutely playing more. But generationally, whatever, I don't even know what generation you'd call that. We'll just call them Gen X for what it is. They're able to play a lot. But that's like 20 years different from us. I've been playing for 17 years, and a lot of the guys, we were just at the ICC. And
I want to dig into that too.
Yeah. And that was a great event, but you look around, there's a lot of circulating faces, which is awesome. And that's what we've seen in paintball. We've seen, people grow up playing. Then when they go to college, they usually have to make a tough decision financially, whether or not they're going to play or not, or what they're going to go do. Drinking may be more fun. Girls may be more fun. Whatever it is they're getting into, they may go down that path. And finances is usually the reason why they're pushed in different directions. They
don't
just
do that
can't.
path, people. Don't do that one. Just
it's not
keep
the
playing
move.
paintball. Just keep playing paintball.
All that stuff is still there if you play paintball.
Yeah.
But, So you lose these guys, and then a lot of them, the circulating faces, they're coming back at 28, 29, 30 after their marriage, after their first kid. You know, they're settled. They have their own money. It's no longer mom and dad's money. And that's where that chain of like events, mom needs to be happy, but then you need to make money. And there's a short window of time where they don't overlap. And so to the generation thing, yeah, the younger generation for sure, they're kicking ass. How do we keep them in it? And how do we solve that? Right. And I think that's where both our points are kind of meshed together for the answer.
Yep. Yeah. Because I do truly believe that more people are playing paintball right now than we've seen in quite some time. It's just in the air. People are playing paintball. They're having fun. And it's one of the things that you can feel good about doing in this paradigm that we're living in with everything that's going on the planet. And people feel good about playing paintball. It's a great outlet, and it's just something that I feel like moving into the future is only going to become more powerful, you know, and we're playing by the rules. We're keeping the distance, and we're wearing the mask already. Kind of, it's like it just falls in all hand in hand with you know, everything that's going on, which is pretty crazy. And everybody stay safe out there. I know things are getting hot again, so please wash your hands. You know, if you can, protect yourself and others, and let's all just do the best we can to look out for each other and be good teammates. I mean, it's from the paintball field to planet Earth. Let's try to be the best teammates that we can be.
For sure.
Yeah, well said, Ty. Definitely be good teammates out there.
Yeah.
ICC, you were out there. What'd you think?
Party.
It was great. It was awesome. You know, they've always been awesome. Obviously this year held a little, there was a little loss there for sure. I mean, without Tim, you know, I felt it. You know, we all have our own stories with Tim, and you know, being there, it was an incredible, blissful happiness and like little saddened, right? But everyone had a great time from what I saw. I know I did. I love seeing everybody. I love seeing, I mean, the decades of different generations out there playing. The All-Star game was hilarious. All the you know, the legends of the game.
Hold on. That was a Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
That was so cool to watch, dude. I'm not going to lie. Watching that game was just surreal. There's a clip on Go Sports of Rocky Cagnoni, Billy Saransky, and Travis Lemansky. They're just like sitting up on the hill before the All-Star game laughing, and it straight up looks like a scene from Push. It's just so iconic, dude. Getting to watch all those guys play paintball against each other and still be good, actually.
Oh,
by the way, like it was kind of crazy how good some of these old guys were. I was blown away, dude. That was epic to me. That was epic. It was so cool to watch. That was the fact that Tim created that and has left us with that is one of the best marks that's been left on paintball, I think, in a very long time. I think,
absolutely,
it's massive. I think it rejuvenated the game. It brought a lot back into the game, and it's going to continue to pave the way for the game too, because that's the way paintball should be played. We should have all formats. I had so much fun out there. I know everybody has a ton of fun playing in the woods, on the hyperball fields, the concept fields. Screw the Mounds field, by the way. Screw the Mounds field.
Dude, I'm a Mound boy for life.
Bro, dude, I thought so too. So let me tell you my Mounds experience.
Oh, no.
I mean, if the drop shots are hitting you, that's not so fun.
Dude, the first field I ever played on was a Mounds field. Love the Mounds fields. I've been so excited to go play ICC. This is my first one. I was so excited to go play ICC because of the Mounds field. That was the only field that I was excited for all the fields, but the Mounds field was the one. So the first day, Friday, I didn't play the 5-man with Dynasty. Saturday, the prelims, we didn't have any games on the Mounds field, so I had to wait until Sunday. Sunday morning, first 2 games on the Mounds field. I'm pumped. I've been waiting for it all weekend. I've been waiting for it for years, actually. I've wanted to go and play those Mounds fields. Very first game, I get shot pretty much off the break. Like, okay, that was lame. All right. Second game, I go back to the same spot that I didn't want to go to. I was like, this is dumb. It's really far. Why not just let me shoot and then make my way up there? But that wasn't part of the game plan. So I ran back there. I got shot, but it was weird because it clipped something.
You can say it.
No, I swear I put this on. There was a lot of cheating going on there. To be honest, I actually don't think that I did end up cheating even once.
I didn't cheat
like
once.
In the spirit of it.
Attaboys.
But
there we go.
But in any case, I get shot for sure because it sprays all over my goggles. But I look at my gun on both sides and I'm like, oh, there's nothing. A ref comes in, checks me, and I know that I got shot somewhere, but there just was no proof. So the ref calls me clean, and I'm like, all right,
It
yeah, I'm definitely
wasn't.
not coming out. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no quarter. It's got to
No.
be a quarter, and then if
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
No,
you're good.
no quarter. So then, I'm like, sweet, I made it to the spot. I get to have some fun. I come up over the top. I'm like shooting at someone. I get bounced like in the neck. I'm like, go back down. Like, oh man, I'm not very good at this. I'm going to hide for a second. Our team's like
Yeah,
storming
too soon
over.
to go over top.
Yeah. Our team's like storming over this team. So I'm thinking it's safe. I come up again, get bounced again somehow. And I'm like, okay, I don't deserve to be on this field. Our team bunkers the last people, grabs a flag, and they're running it back. And as they're running it back, I'm looking over my gun and I saw the where it broke. It broke like on the tip of my speed feed and sprayed all over me. I was like, man, I'm terrible at the Mounds. I thought I was going to be so good on that field. That was absolute garbage. It was
don't
crazy.
give up, dude. There's hope.
Shot 4 times in 2 games.
Definitely, yeah, there's a learning curve to the Mounds field for sure.
Oh man. Yeah,
Dude.
I'm gonna chalk it up to some bad luck, to be honest, because I get it. I get the concept. Like stay
That can
low,
happen.
it comes over. I mean, Ryan kind of had a good analogy. It's like, warriors when they're going to war, you're like running into battle and arrows are just flying over, and you either get lucky or you don't. Like some of them hit you. And
10-man is like, I don't know if it's like the greatest equalizer. There's so much going on, from how much paint is in the air, people getting shot in their speed feeds and living, like that, it does. It can be anybody though. Like I've shot guys in their face and they're living, and it's like, how is this guy living? What's going on with this? So there's that. And then just all the variables and tangibles that 10-man brings. It is 100% equalizer, and you definitely gotta get like off the break. You gotta get lucky,
Yeah, for sure. Especially
on the Mounds.
Woods, Mounds. Dude, the concept field, or the hybrid field, I should say, I dominated on though. That was sweet. Ran to the 50,
so fun.
got some kills. Was like, this is tight.
Yeah,
this is so cool.
It's the best.
You're sprinting through the woods, not looking at your
better.
opponents. You got to look down at the ground because there's stuff everywhere.
That's
You're
right.
Jumping over branches and logs, dude. It was fun. It was a blast.
You really got to be in the moment in the woods, because a log will take you out like nobody's business, or like something out there in the woods will just grab you and you'll be like, oh, but you got to be in the moment. And
I got poison oak. I got something that came back with me.
Oh,
yeah.
It was
jungle, definitely
sure.
Taxes.
Yeah. Where'd you get that? It was on the woods field?
I actually got it. We were doing a 10-man practice before the ICC.
Yeah.
Just so you know that I'm really about it. I'm really in these jungles.
Where'd you practice?
At Paintball Fit, and then Official Paintball in Texas.
Nice. Dude, our the OG Dynasty guys, well, they're the coolest, first and foremost. I hope they listen to this. Shout out to all of them.
Yes,
but
sir.
Rodney and I think, was it Glenn? Rodney and one of the other guys, they flew out a week early and they actually practiced on the fields. Their shots were dialed in. Rodney in the 5-man shot 2 people off the break on the hyperball field in one of the games. On the Mounds field, he's like, look, I know the spot. I could sit right here behind this mound to shoot right over this. For sure going to get a kill off the break. Sure enough, gets kill on the break. Our guys are dialed in, dude. Davey Williamson crushed it. I was like just so surprised. The OG Dynasty guys are really cool.
Yeah, name off they won the 5-man. Who was on that squad?
It was Glenn Forrester, Rodney Squires, Davey Williamson, Eric Hunter, Arturo Andrade, Grayson. Grayson played really well out there too, actually. Was happy for him. Happy to see that. Arturo got the MVP. Arturo played lights out. He's a really good he's a really good 10-man player, but I know this was 5-man. But on those fields, those bigger fields with like the big snake, he crushes it, dude. He's really good at those. I'm missing somebody. Tyler Machad. Tyler Machad.
Yep, saw him.
Oh, they had a lot of people for the
Roy Richard, dude.
Yeah, Roy.
Roy was a dominator. I gave him the MVP of the Woods field. We were playing down in the woods, and Tyler, have you been out to the ICC yet?
No, I haven't, and I can't wait to go soon. My son started first grade, and I couldn't miss it, dude. And he just lost his second tooth yesterday. It's been a big week for the Harmons over here.
Yeah, we got milestones.
100%. Yeah, you got to be there for that, dude. So the Woods field, there's a side that you start on that is quite a bit below the other side. Let's just say that. Like if you're on the low side
and a high side,
you are running downhill. If you're on the low side, it is a steep uphill sprint. And It's like almost in a diamond shape, right? You know, the way the start stations are. So anyway, I'm down on the bottom side, but from the high side. So I go down to the right. So it's kind of getting to, you know, even land, and everything to the left of me is up in this hill. It's like kind of dark down there and a little mysterious, you know. I'm down there. Roy Richards is in the center, and all of a sudden I look up and I just see him streaking through the center, and there's like all this beautiful light shining through, like right on his back, dude. He just looks so majestic. He goes through the middle and like bunkers 3 people, just switching hands. It was so sick. It was like still 10 people. We were like maybe 6 minutes into the game. It was pretty stale. We're like, how are we gonna penetrate this? We've got a bunch of bodies down here, and all of a sudden I just look up, and here he goes, dude. He's just streaking through the center of the field, sun shining on him. Astra for sure.
Animal.
Just dominating, dude. It was tight. It was so cool to see the old guys just having fun out there and still crushing it, man. It truly still playing great paintball. Nicky Cuba was out there. He played with Philly Americans. Dude still got it. Happy to see him back in the game.
Dude, the OGs are legends. I'm so glad that there's so many paintball players from my childhood still playing, and like it honestly means everything to us as well, seeing you guys play. And it's just nostalgic. I mean, it really is when you see those videos of the guys that you looked up to, and then they're running through the woods and the lights hitting. And Roy is a beast. Let me just say that first and foremost.
Roy's the man.
Yeah, Roy's an animal out there.
Yeah.
I want to dig more into this 10-man. I just think it's so much fun.
Yeah.
There was a lot of action going on. Let's dive into the All-Star game and kind of break that whole thing down. I know there was some madness going on. So I wasn't there firsthand. Maybe one of you guys want to kind of dive into that?
Meter.
I feel like Marcelo saw more than I did. I came in halfway. I got to see Lasoya belly flop, then run down and do his little dance.
Oh man, legend!
That's pretty much my angle. That's pretty much the most I got.
Yeah, I missed the first game too. Actually, I was like, oh my god, the game started. I ran over, and then they grabbed me and threw me in the commentator's booth. But it was 1-1. You know, so they had to play that third match, and they decided the third match to go 14-on-14, play the full rosters. And in that,
I heard it got wild.
It got wild. Yeah, there was some reincarnation. Frank Connell didn't want to come off the field.
Yeah, Frankie.
He was doing the damn thing.
Yeah, baby.
I think Fragi tried to pull a silly reincarnation. It just didn't even work. He was like on the snake side, got shot, goes all the way back, and then tries to like reinsert himself in the most obvious spot in like the center 50.
I'm pretty sure Davey was telling him to go.
Yeah, of course, for sure.
It was like a crowd-inspired reinsertion.
Yeah,
heck yeah. Both sides were doing it. Refs
fresh eggs.
Let Alex play for too long. He got a round of applause from everybody, though.
I think that is so much fun that like I know everybody wants to take it super serious, but those guys had the time of their life doing that.
Sure.
And everybody knows what happened out there, and it was a fun game, and I just love the whole thing. It's just great.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, one of the coolest games I've ever had the pleasure of watching, like all the legends that were on the field together, and just seeing them play. And it was so interesting watching them play too, and still recognizing them. Like you didn't need to see the name on the back. Like JR looks just like JR.
You knew.
You knew who he was from his body language, his movements. What do you want to do? Todd Adamson, all of these guys, Billy Saransky, all these dudes, you could just see, and it's like, man, it's iconic. It truly, truly was iconic to watch. So really awesome. Ryan Moorhead and Alex Frazier were the captains, who ended up being the winner. I don't know who. I think Ryan Moorhead's team ended up actually winning. So what happened? What had happened was the games were supposed to go 10 minutes, and it came down to like a 3-on-3 or something at the end, and they just let the time go. So once they let the time go, that's when a lot of the chaos started to ensue. Everyone was like, their clocks went off, like, oh, it's not even a real game anymore. So they just started having a ton of fun, dude. It was cool to watch. Great for the third match. Total Hall of Fame game. If you guys haven't seen it, head over to Go Sports. Make sure you check it out. Watch it on there. I mean, that's truly just a legendary matchup that we're probably never going to see that again. Probably never going to see that the way that was again, which was really cool.
Shout out to Moorhead too. Good job, brother. And that's just the most pure love for Tim Montresor and everything that he did for the game. TM40 forever. I mean, that what he has done literally could shape paintball drastically moving into the future. I definitely see even high level 10-man paintball being played as we move into the future. I think that it's going to make a resurgence. It's just too much fun. And the video, I mean, even as a spectator, I watched all Sunday and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like, I watched all the games, and my wife was kind of like, put the phone down. I'm like, I'm watching a tournament over here. Come on. But it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing what we got going with 10-man and all these amazing tournaments, NXL, Astra, everything, WCPPL, all these local events that we have at, NorCal Capital Edge Paintball. There's, they're going to have the NXL event there. There's just so much good paintball going on. And that's what we need. More people being creative and playing a lot of paintball. So shout out to 10-man. Let's go.
For sure. Who were you playing with, Meter?
I played with the AC Empire, AC Dallas guys.
Got it.
Diesel.
Nice.
Yeah, last minute deal. I wasn't actually going to go. Just had a lot of things going on. And then the weekend before, they hit me up and were like, hey, come out, play. It'll be fun. I denied Saturday. And then Sunday, I'm like, yeah, we're doing it. All right, let's go. We had Alex and Jesse play too. So they kind of were like bullying me to go. And then I get to reunite with all my AC guys, Greg and Mark Johnson, Clint, Nathan, all the OGs. So that was a ton of fun.
Shout out Infamous winning the tournament. A lot of your teammates on there.
Absolutely. That's I said if it can't be you, it better be your friends. And it was I used to play for Infamous too, so it was definitely full circle. As long as the family wins, we're good, baby. Who cares?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, in the finals I was obviously not rooting for you guys because you're playing the All-Americans. I want my boys to win out there too.
Who were you rooting for when we played Philly?
Oh, Eric obviously Tyler? Philly, buddy.
Bro. Yeah. What about me, dude? What am I?
Things change, people change.
Chopped liver, man. Chopped liver. There it is. You guys heard it here first on Play the Game podcast.
Yep.
Chopped liver.
Sticking to my guns.
No longer any love for the brother. All right. Well, guys, this has been fun.
We're gonna shut it down here. Meter, it's been good.
Yeah, it's been a good time, guys. All right, Marcelo, let's start with a new guest. I guess
Hold on,
I'm gonna take over the show.
No, where is it? Nope, that ain't it. Hold on, there's a sad one for all the listeners. We're gonna go through this process together.
Oh man, there it is. So for everybody that doesn't know, Marcelo is ultimate supreme DJ of the universe now. He has a beatbox that we've added to the show.
The crowd goes wild.
And it's getting wild in PTG world. We have a special guest who's going to join us here in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, we got some really cool stuff cooking up. Shout out to your whole setup. Why don't you let them know, Marsh? What do you got going on over there?
Dude, we really went for it full send. So just want to give a major shout out to Harris Hussein from NYX for coming on the show and razzling me so much that I spilled a glass of water on my laptop, because if it weren't for the destruction of the laptop, we wouldn't have been inspired to get all this new equipment. So we just went all in. We got the best microphones in the game. The Shure, I forget what, 4.7 MB, something like that. Meter, I think you know what they're called, right? What are they called?
The Shure SM7B.
There we go. Awesome.
That is it.
One. Sponsored the pod, Sure.
Dude, nailed it.
Yes, nailed it. So that's really cool because the mic is really next level. I forgot if I said this on the air or off the air, but when A-Rod came on our show, and the listeners loved A-Rod, by the way, the whole PTG family loved A-Rod's episode, and A-Rod's been fantastic. Came in our Discord, hung out with everybody for a while, and has done some really cool things. But on the show, he sounded like God. So he literally sounded like, Morgan Freeman or something. And he just had all of his audio dialed in. We're like, dude, we need to upgrade our stuff for the listeners for sure. So we got the mic. This is the mic that they use on the Rogan podcast.
This is all from them. You guys did all this.
Absolutely.
I mean, thank you guys who are listening right now. Thank you.
Major love to the supporters, 100%. This is for you. We promise to keep trying to innovate the show and make it as good as possible. But the coolest thing, the mic's great, but the coolest thing is this Rode Podcaster audio interface, because it allows us to do some really cool stuff. We can have guests call in, which is going to be a new feature. We're going to have our GOAT supporters from the Discord. They're going to be able to call in and ask questions of our guests and hang out with us on the show. So that's really neat. There's all these sound effects that I clearly don't know yet by heart. Yeah, I'm sure there's other stuff that it does that I don't even know yet, but this thing is really badass and we're stoked.
Yeah. Next level. Meter, what is your favorite aspect of the paintball game? Not only just like the game of paintball, but tournament paintball as a whole.
First one that comes to mind is definitely the friends. I mean, that's the easy answer, but that's why we do it, right? I mean, I have memories with each of you from playing against each other to hanging out in Europe together to doing whatever, and all those memories and times to look forward to experience are, that's the gold right there. Then to the game itself, it's the competitiveness 100%. Not many people are able to be elites at anything that they do. It's just a rare thing. You have to sacrifice a lot to get to that in anything, whether it's a sport, pottery, whatever it is that you're doing. It takes time. And competitiveness, it can come from within, or in a sport like we have, comes from with each other, right? The more you're grindy and doing your thing, Tyler, I can just see the energy right now that gets me going to all right, I got to figure out how to get there. How do I get to that next gear? How do I, whether it's find the passion or, whatever it is, get that competitiveness out of me come game time, and being able to pull that out of you whenever. That's like that switch that you hear about. Michael Jordan, Kobe, they all have that switch. We're able to, emulate that. And that for me changes my entire life. Like when I don't play paintball, I got a lot going on in my head, but the ding, the ding, the ding, a little monkey with the little, so there's a lot. But with paintball and being able to be operating at a really high level, hyper focus on one thing, mind, body, soul at one time, it's meditation, right? I've skated, I've surfed, free dive, I've done bow hunting. I do a lot of different things that do bring out similar elements, but there's nothing like paintball. There really isn't. You hear it all the time, it really hit me probably a couple of years ago, how much that's true though. Ryan Moorhead, actually, TJ and I talk about this pretty much every time when we drive up or down to practice. People always ask, when are you going to stop playing? When are you going to stop doing this? And it's like, Ryan Moorhead said this: why would I ever stop doing something that I love, that brings me this much joy? You wouldn't stop doing, why don't you get divorced already? It's like, well, I love my wife. I don't want this to end. I want to keep digging deeper with this. So, I changed through the course of paintball. You change your relationship with it from being a young, passionate kid to an adult, fighting for that competitive rush over and over again, to retapping into the passion. And then you have that little synergy of balance. And that's what paintball, what we do, brings to me. It brings total balance to my life, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And as goofy as that sounds, it's totally true. I have my friends through this. I get to exercise through this. I get to compete through this. And one thing, it's a buy one, get infinity, one, get one. That's incredible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's hard to do what you just said. All that, you encompassed it so perfectly. It's hard to translate that in a capsule form to people where they're like, okay, I get that too. But
it doesn't work. It doesn't relate to people unless you know it, unless you've experienced that yourself. You can't, we could have an audience of people, and if they've never touched a paintball gun or never done anything like that, it's indescribable. It sounds like a Looney Tune, You're like, oh, this and that, and then these experiences, these stories, and we're in a taxi cab in London, ball, and it's like, dude, no way, you don't get that anywhere else.
Chasing waterfalls in Malaysia,
dude, Australia.
That was amazing. What a great time.
Yeah, for real,
man. We haven't even touched your career as a whole, which has been a very successful one. You've really evolved into one of the more elite players in the league, and a lot of people have taken notice, and you've been great for a long time, but more recently you've been really playing lights out. And world champion, definitely had some adversity to go through, and I think the listeners would really love to kind of tap into your story a little bit.
For sure. Yeah, I appreciate.
How did
Love
you
it.
start in this crazy game?
Birthday party.
Birthday party. I know. Even leading up to this, I was like, maybe I should hit him with a little lie. Maybe I should be like,
Nope.
no,
No, come correct. We love birthday
yeah,
parties. They're the
yeah,
best.
birthday party. And I didn't want to do it at all. I'm one of those guys. I was
Yeah.
skating. I was a skater growing up. That was
Me
like
too.
my deal. Yeah. And then neighborhood friend I'm from California and I moved to Texas in 2001 actually. And my first friend, Nico Nakamura, when we were 9 years old, he wanted to go do paintball for his birthday party. And I didn't want to go at all. Like I literally was like, no, I can't, I'm sick or something. I made up an excuse and then they came up. We lived like across the street. So they're like, no, we're coming. His mom, Tammy Nakamura, came, knocked on the door, grabbed me, you're getting in. So we did it. Had a blast. I mean, loved it. Played at Adrenaline Zone, now defunct, but I mean, it was an incredible field at the time, 2004, 2005. It was on Grapevine Lake. I mean, this was like a premier facility that didn't get to exist in this world, but sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's how that all started, and I just never stopped. That's it. Just never stopped playing the game.
That's it. Never stop.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Meter, we lost you for a quick second, brother. I'm sorry about that. But we're back. We got you.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so we went to that birthday party and just kept going back. And I think maybe 2 months later, I played my first tournament. I went from Tipman 98, or actually I went from a Psychoballistics, whatever the hell that was, to a DM4 like immediately.
Oh,
98, that didn't last long. Yeah. And then the Psychoballistics, then DM4 right into it. Played my first tournament probably 2 or 3 months into it. Got second at that event. And then it really never stopped.
Do you think it was because of that taste of getting close to the victory there? You got the second place and you're like, oh yeah, I like this a lot.
No, I was hooked. It was like,
yeah,
it was over. When I got the second place, I thought I was pro. That's all that happened. I thought I was like, yeah, I'm playing for Excessive or Dynasty now. It's like, oh, hold on. That's not how it works. But no, what it was that story, the Excessive or Dynasty story. Because I was coming into it as it was happening. 2004, 2005, they had some DVDs that I was able to watch. I had a local paintball store that that's what it was. Paintball Dynamics. It was like a hub when back in the day for all the listeners now, because I know this is probably a really pipe dream scenario these days, but you would have a paintball store and that would be like your skate shop and you would spend all your time there. After school, you're going there, you're checking out the magazines, you're finger banging all the triggers, you're touching all the stuff. And that was it. My initial paintball experience was the full paintball experience, lived, breathed, sleep. That was it. My friends were paintball. And it was cool because we were all TJ Danner actually. He went to like a rival school. So
no way.
He lived like 3 miles away from me. And so we all met pretty quick. Me, Ashton Johnson, he was an old pro. He played for X Factor, and TJ Danner. We all grew up playing together. We were all on our first team, Demolition Kids, and I just had an awesome, you guys did too. We all had pretty incredible like starts to the sport, memories and things that you get to take with you forever. And they definitely made me who I am. So, there's not enough to be said about what my initial years of paintball was. It was incredible. Blissful.
I know. It was crazy because while you're saying this, I'm just realizing that I was in Modesto at this time with Excessive, like not on the team, obviously, but just like watching them. They were based out of my home field. So it's just mind boggling to me that like this story, that rivalry really jump-started a lot of people in the game. And it was like right in my backyard there. It was nuts.
Yeah, no, I watched the video of the rain and the emo music and all that, like Excessive, that whole thing. That was it. That was what compelled me. So media, answer.
Media, exactly,
media is the answer.
It is. And it seems like every guest that we have on, similar thing, whether you started a birthday party, however you started, those stories are what hooked you. seeing those videos, seeing those rivalries, seeing, we did such a good job of creating legitimate superheroes back then, and
Yeah.
that's what we need to do a better job of now, so that young kids come in and they have idols to look up to. They have people that they want to, kind of follow in a certain path. We need to do more of that.
For sure. Yeah. How we do it in this day and age, it's like all the answers are there. It's just hard to get it going. Like what you two do as individuals, and I mean, obviously together, I mean, that's what we all should be doing and should be encouraged to be doing, whether it's just being active on social media, which I'm definitely not, I'm far from it. So I'm, I'll take the punishment,
But I don't think Instagram is the place for it. There's got to be like a whole nother.
It's different
thing.
now, for sure. It's changing, and where that is, it's TikTok. That's the answer. It's TikTok is what is.
Funny story about our TikTok account. We're gonna have to figure this out, Marcella, because
one day, dude,
I can't get us into our own TikTok account. I've locked us out. So
this doesn't make sense.
Play
dude.
the Game podcast TikTok account is but there's we'll bob and weave. Shout out to Bobby Weaverton one more time out there. We're gonna definitely
like a drinking game now.
Bobby Weaverton.
Let's go, Bobby. We're gonna definitely get into the TikTok world. We need to, and it's getting written down. And when things get written down, they get handled. So
I got my notebook right over there. I understand that.
Dude, let's talk about the power of taking notes. Really, quick.
Man,
just because I know it is a practice that Tyler uses all day long. Sticky notes are his best friend. I've got a notepad.
I actually, if the world ceased to have sticky notes, I think that I would be doomed. I mean, I need sticky notes in my life. They're everywhere. I wouldn't even be able to process information. I would be like a lost dog, just like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Sticky notes. You definitely have to write things down. The spoken word, written word gets things into the universe. They're on paper. They're like already manifested. And then it starts to get the ball rolling for sure.
I totally agree.
It makes you hold yourself accountable as well. Every single morning I have a list that I write down. And when I don't cross things off that list, I'm upset with myself. I don't feel very good. When I cross things off that list, my mind releases a little bit of dopamine. I'm excited. I feel good. And you're rewarded. You're instantly rewarded for getting the stuff done that you need to get done. It's also a great way to visualize how you're going to get stuff done. You could dissect it into different steps. If you struggle with getting things done, start with writing them down. Just take that simple step and see how it changes your productivity.
Yeah, just do it. Even if you don't need help with productivity, just do the damn thing. You got whatever it is. It clears up everything for sure.
So good, dude. That's it. You got to just do it.
Notes.
Notes. Write down thoughts. Write down whatever you want. That's how you get it, by continually doing that, and then active progression towards whatever it is you're trying to get to. That's it.
Yeah. Even sometimes. Yeah, you're looking at it. It's kind of pestering you a little bit and staring you down, and it's like, "What are you gonna do, huh?" It's like asking you a question, and then
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I recently just bought a big what is it? Dry erase board, and that's what we've been doing, or I've been doing, to get down all this Astra stuff, crunch time.
Yeah.
And it's been instrumental to what I'm doing. And then you see every I'm big in like fashion, music, and all that. All the greatest minds ever, it's all on a whiteboard. Like, it really is, all of it. You see Ye in the Mercedes studio, all he's doing is writing on the damn whiteboard, track list, when's gonna be done, deadline, blah blah blah.
Yeah. He's a monster.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got 2 Kanye fans here. The person calling in is a major Kanye fan, and we've kind of gone head to head.
He's had its ups and downs with me. It's a wild ride with Kanye.
It's a wild ride.
That's for
I'm
sure.
with it, baby.
It's a wild ride.
I'm with it.
But he's a genius. The guy has manipulated time and space into his favor, and he knows exactly. He's playing the game. I'm telling you what, that boy is playing the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So wait, we have Steve. Is he here?
He's not here. No, he's not here.
Okay.
Damn, he blew his cover, dude.
Oh, well, I think people know that. All right, he's the one that we're gonna have on
He's
for
got to
sure.
be the first one for sure.
Yeah.
100%. Major shout out to Steve. He's our young Steven, young Stevie. He's our version of young Jamie of, the Rogan show. He handles a lot of the back end stuff. Total dominator. He's the man. Yeah.
If we ever have
Love him
questions now,
crazy.
we can just call into him and he
I
can
know.
answer the
Yeah.
questions on the show.
Got Patch and Steve real quick. We gotta figure the situation out.
Yeah.
Yep. Steve's over there just like the the cat in the GIFs.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. Dude, PTG's growing, man. We're evolving. We've got a young Stevie now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to young Stevie.
Hey, now you're about to get the Spotify deal. 100 mil
boy.
coming in hot.
Oh boy. Hey, so I want to dip back into your story. I really want to I want to cover your lineage in the game because it's been a really cool one to watch from an outsider's perspective. I think in the last few years you've really taken your style and your game to the next level, which I mean, I've seen you from the whole way, and in these last 3 years you've tenfolded. You know what I mean? I think that you're playing at a really high and supreme level, and I want to kind of dig into how that came to be, how it all started, and the progression of your story there.
For sure. Well, I appreciate that. It means the world to me. But it's cool. We all push each other, and we all, whenever one player's doing well, or you see that change and that progression, it's inspiring. And I've shared it, so it's awesome to hear that you guys, your praises. That's awesome,
dude. All love.
Where do we jump
that
in, baby?
Yeah.
Where do we go?
I think let's dive in after you got into your first tournaments. Shout out to the Tipman. I used to keep a Tipman fully loaded, 11 years old, under my bed with aired up and just ready to rock in case intruders came, because I thought that I was like a superhero when I started playing paintball. But let's get into it after you first got into the tournaments and how it progressed into a more competitive style.
Yeah. So for me, it was pretty much tournament paintball is what I wanted to do. Of course, I dabbled playing in the woods first time, a couple times. Our DFW Venture Park supports a lot of recreational play, so the boys would always go out there and play until the tournament stuff became getting more and more heavy. So 2006, 2007, 2007, I played my first Division II tournament. I was 12 years old, but the team I played for wasn't like great. They were definitely playing a little bit above their their skill level. I remember we played Vicious, New Jersey Jesters. I don't know if it was Palm Beach, but it was like another one of those like iconic high level divisional teams at that time. That's who we played in the
Gridlock.
prelims.
Was it Gridlock?
It may have been, I don't know if it was Gridlock, but it was, I'll have to look it up one day, but it was New Jersey Jesters, Vicious, someone else really big, and another, notable team. I remember playing against Greg Pauly when I was 12. I went to the little X box, and I'm pretty sure someone bunkered me or someone shot me, and that was that. But that was Division II at 12.
Diesel?
And
was it Diesel?
It wasn't Diesel.
DCE?
Division II at that time was no joke either.
Yeah, that Division II at that time was like our semi-pro today.
Yeah.
Just the way it was. Vastly different game, but the skill level is what we're talking about. It was pretty immaculate, but so that was an eye-opening, ass-kicking to, hey, this is what the PSP is. And I was like, okay, hell yeah, let's do more of that, but let's try and fit in somewhere where we can actually play for real. Because like I said, our team was not a good team. Fun team, but not a good team. And then that team, the story of that, it didn't last very long. It was called the Core All-Stars, and it just phased after that event. And so now I'm 12 years old, pretty much ranked Division II. I can't go play any more of these locals, can't do anything else. So that took a while to like be able to play other places. And this is also now, that was 2007. So 2008 hits, recession, paintball didn't have a great effect to it. So North Texas paintball, which is kind of where it's crazy where Texas paintball in general is today, because in 2008, 2009, there wasn't a place to really play tournament paintball. They didn't even have airball fields. So that left a young Mitri quite discouraged, and had to figure out a way to play paintball and get on a team that I could actually play for ranked wise, because I'm out of pocket now. And then where I can win and get that experience going.
Mhm.
So that's where things get pretty colorful. I pretty much networked my entire paintball career through Xbox Live, like straight up. Like it
No way.
wasn't even, yeah, it wasn't forums. It wasn't, I mean, of course I dabbled on the forums, but I'd always get roasted on the forums. And I was like, man, what the hell? Why?
Yeah, come on.
These guys come in and hot at me. I don't even know.
Yeah.
That was the nature of the internet back then. People were just super, super mean. And
Yeah.
it's
What do you
super
mean
funny.
back
Like,
then? It's still that
Yeah.
way, dude. People
it's
are
brutal
Oh, yeah.
now, but people know. People know. Like there was no such thing as trolling.
It was the
back
early
then.
troll. That was the early troll.
Trolling was just being mean.
Yeah.
So definitely got some like internet scars for sure. So I was like, all right, let's just stick to Xbox.
I think this is a valuable lesson though. Look at how many no's you're getting. No, 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 but you never quit, dude.
Oh,
You just
bro.
you knew where your heart was at.
Yeah, and the no's, it's interesting because the no's came in different shapes and forms. It was really never about my skill. I've never had an issue about like what I brought to the game or what was going on there at that age. It was just more so like, I don't know, the attitude of life then, and a 12-year-old kid, screw this kid, his parents drive him to the field. He has this new gun. He has this and that. So like, it definitely wasn't welcome arms experience for me. And paintball, I mean, we all have those stories. Paintball back then was brutal. The cliques, we were all vicious to each other. Like we used to be called the bag bandits and steal each other's gear and do horrible things and like not cool stuff. Can't like,
oh my God, the bag bandit.
The bag bandits were serious.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. No. Yeah. There's stories we can go off air that are gnarly, but so all that stuff was like there. And to tie it back in, there just wasn't much tournament paintball. There wasn't airball. So through Xbox Live, I was talking to people in North Carolina, California, Florida, blah, 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 blah. In 2009, I was able to network through all these, and these guys weren't pros. It wasn't like I was playing with pros. I'm playing with other like little boobs, like, D4 boobs just trying to make their way and just loving the game and, goofing off and having friends that actually
That was the
play
name of the
paintball,
team?
right?
Is this VC?
No, that's just no, but I definitely have had my run-ins with VCK. VCK stood for Ventrilo Crew Killers, and that was like a Discord of yesteryear. And that's how that started. They emerged through digital paintball.
Right, correct.
I'm solo dolo in this venture. I played digital paintball and we were all cool, but yeah, I can't even tell you how I networked with the people in North Carolina. But there was a guy named Nick Oreo, and he was this big 6'8", large and in charge guy, and he was just he was probably the biggest paintball troll out there. He was just a mess, but he and I were boys, and he's the one who set up this entire thing for me, really. We had this team called Montreal Mankstar, and that was like a total one of those throw together teams that gets crowdfunded, and then okay, now that helped me get my flight out there, like one of those like kind of but it's there. It's the truth. It's what it was. And so I played my first CFOA tournament in 2009, and so I'm coming from Texas to North Carolina. I've never been there, never done anything. I'm 15 for that. I played that tournament, and it's just a bunch of guys. It's a throw together team, so there's no organization, there's nothing going on. But I'm going there to stunt. Like that was like my mission. I'm like, dude, I'm going out there. I gotta crush. I gotta like get notice out there because I want to keep playing. I want to get picked up by anybody. I'll fly out there. I'll do whatever it takes to make it happen. So 2009, play the first CFOA, get noticed by Matt Sauceman. Matt Sauceman coaches Mutiny now, play for Vicious. Yeah. And so he was like, where are you from? That whole deal. I'm like, I'm from Texas. He goes, oof, well, what are you doing here? I'm like, well, I'm trying to play some ball. What's up? And I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anything. I didn't know who Cross-Eyed was. I didn't know who Raiden was. I didn't know any of that. But he's like, we're having a tryout for a Division I team in 3 weeks. Make it, figure it out. And I was like, okay, that's easy. We can do that. So 3 weeks come up, go to this tryout, make Division I team for Raiden, and practice, stay the summer out there, become a man out there. Heyman Chapman, Kyle Flores, Matt Sauceman. It's basically trauma, gridlock and trauma.
Dude, shout out to Heyman one time.
Yeah, for sure.
I
But
played
so,
on
you know,
Oakland
this,
with Heyman a little bit there. He's a fun guy.
yeah,
He's
yeah, I know.
just down for the cause. He's just really good at paintball too. Heyman, I think, was pretty underrated. He is a really good paintball player.
Yeah, he played for Russians at a
Yeah,
time where that was like pretty incredible for an American to be
that's right.
over there. So
Hmm.
yeah, but yeah, this, you know, like I said, this Xbox Live party kid, you know, coming from Texas, showing up at a tryout, makes the Division 1 team, and I'm like now in this mix of trauma gridlock kids, and like literally I have a pretty colorful history in paintball in general, just of the people I've been able to play with and little groups I've been able to plug into and have a, you know, a name in. So that was like that was the start of it. And we end up winning our World Cup in 2009, Division 1, first Division 1 tournament, win it. It's a World Cup. Awesome. I played really well. Our whole team was flawless. We went undefeated through the whole tournament and 5-0 DBS in the finals. And it was like a pretty cool deal. It was when the rotors first came out. I was the kid who took the top of his loader off and filled the pod because my
Yeah.
loader like didn't work. So it was like, Di was like regretful, I'm sure, of giving me, you know, their prototype rotor. But that was like how it went from zero, absolute local zero, to everything. I mean, my whole stock price jumped. And this is obviously in the divisional world. So everybody in the divisional world now, I'm sure there are the elites in that world that everyone kind of looks up to, and they're kind of watching that progression, watching those guys emerge. So it was really cool to like know that, like in the moment, I knew that was me. You know, just the way paintball worked and social medias at that time, like I definitely felt like I was the shit. You know, it was just like a little conceited, a little cocky, but I was young. So that was cool. And then of course you get shot down. You know, you get a little humbled through that. But that's nature of it. From there, our team ended up breaking up, which sucked because we were actually really good, and they did go play pro, or yeah, pro a little bit. They played in the semi-pro division. Then the money man backed out, which sucked. But from the Raiden journey, I went to the Jesters. So Matt Sossman and I didn't have anywhere to go. We teamed up and we're pretty much offering ourselves to any team as a package deal. Like, hey, you know, we're good. So
Yeah.
you
Oh,
guys
the
should pick us
Jesters.
up.
The Jesters are major PTG fam. Shout out to the
Yeah.
Jesters.
Yeah.
East Coast
And
ball.
so from my first PSP event ever, getting beat up on by the Jesters to, you know, 3-4 years later playing for the Jesters, was pretty incredible. And so Texas to North Carolina to now we're in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And won some tournaments over there with them, and a whole another chapter of my life where I'm growing up, and now I'm 15, 16, 17, and I'm playing with these guys, and it was incredible. The Jesters at that time was so much a fraternity, and like truly like what was that movie, Old School? I mean, that
Yeah.
was the Jesters. I mean, we would line people up, slap them, and like do all sorts of goofy stuff.
Dude,
And
I saw a video of this recently. They just did it again. I
yeah,
was like, this is insane. Who's
yeah, the Mount Rushmore, dude. Timmy Trenacost, legend. All those guys, legends.
Tim
And
Trentacost, legend. Yeah.
yeah, I mean
So, oh my God. I can't even imagine watching that. We got to
yeah.
post that video for the PTG world at
Oh
some
man, I
point.
don't know where I stumbled across that. I'm sure we could find it though. I'm sure one of the listeners can find it and send it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine someone has that on deck.
So while you're during this time frame, you're still in school, I would imagine. How are you navigating all that? What type of difficulties did you face doing this? I'm sure sleepless nights, lots of, working on the
Oh
go, and
yeah. Yeah, sleepless nights. I'm in high school, so I was a freshman in high school when I did in 2009 when I went to Raiden and did that whole chapter, and then was a sophomore for the Jesters, and I just got my license, and I had truancy officers after me all the time. Not because of paintball. I didn't like school to begin with. It wasn't like I just wasn't into it. I knew what I wanted to go do, and I was like, I want to go play paintball. I want to go do that. You got to stay in school. You got to do that. It's very doable. But for me, I had my mindset. I was willing to travel. I was willing, I'm doing the things that it's hard for us to do now. I'm traveling, I'm leaving Thursday, getting out of school Thursday and making it home Monday and all sorts of craziness.
Yeah.
So there was definitely some Saturdays where I couldn't go play paintball. I had to go sit in the class and do my hours and
Yeah.
pay the time. But
you do the crime, you pay the time.
Yeah, they get you. So
it's hard,
but it was worth it. Yeah. It's hard, and of course, like I said, you can definitely go to school. So my thing is, that was my story. TJ went to school, went to college, and did the whole nine and excelled.
Yeah.
So it's very possible.
Greg Sewers as well. I mean, I remember when he was playing on the Ironmen, flying back and forth from California to Boston. It was just insane what he was doing to still go to school, go to high school, and then what he was doing to get a college degree. I mean, it's possible. It's just a lot of work and really tough, but definitely possible.
For sure.
That's the grinder.
The grinder.
Sacrifice. It's sacrifice. We sacrifice whatever it is for paintball. You got to sacrifice other parts of your life so you can do that and have a life too. I think in today's world, we're pretty well now with COVID. Who knows? I don't know what's going on with our curriculums anymore, but
yeah, it's been wild.
Yeah, but to get back on track, so we were with the Jesters for 2-3 years, and then in 2012, I'm a senior in high school, and Matt Sossman goes to Vicious, and it was just kind of like weird setting, like your best friend leaving, going pro, and then I wasn't told about it. I kind of found out like in a post or something, so I was like, a little devastated. Like, what am I going to go do now? Like, I don't want to go to do this journey by myself now. Did I lose you guys?
We lost him for a second, but he's back.
We're back.
Marcelo?
Okay, yeah, got him. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you keep going in and out. What do you got over there? You got some like 2G network meter or what?
No, we're ripping. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It must be Marcelo.
It's probably on our end. Mine hasn't gone out. I don't know what you're talking about. Mine's been good.
How can you tell? Is there do you have
There is. There's a little thing on here. It keeps showing on meters that he goes offline.
See, we found him. We found the culprit. You do the time, you pay the crime.
Boom.
Now
got him.
You get a glitch.
I'm getting throttled.
One for that moment.
No, we need. Yeah, you got to pump it up.
Sirens. We need some sirens or something.
But
are
we good,
Mr. DJ? You gotta hit him. We gotta hit you with a. DJ's over here trying to hit some sound. All right, that's something. We're good.
All right.
Yeah. We're going to upload some funny bits to this thing, and it's going to get wild. This is our first day on the job with this new beatbox, so we're going for it.
But yeah, so 2012, and I didn't want to do the New Jersey travel thing by myself anymore. And so Ryan Gray from Texas Storm reached out to me and gave me an opportunity to come back home and play in Texas. And the reason why I vacated Texas in general for paintball is there was just nothing there. So this is from 2008 to now 2012, 4 years of really nothing. And now there is something. Ryan Gray has his store. He has, a field, Texas Storm team. He's trying to bring up to make it a winning caliber Division 1 team. And so I was a part of that process. And then that's also where my road intersects with Greg Pauly. And I, reconnect with long lost friend, TJ Danner. And that's kind of like the theme of our paintball love story is like just, trying to get back together. And then we finally did it now on X Factor. But to rewind to 2012, a lot of awesome things happened. And like I said, from that 2009 World Cup win, everything was kind of just ripping up. So it still was up on the up and upswing. And we get Greg Pauly. We practice, we do everything in Texas. It's awesome to finally be home, finally spend a year of high school, like actually in school and, just doing teenager stuff. So we go in, we have Greg be our assistant coach, and he brought a ton of information. I mean, Greg is just a fountain of paintball knowledge. So he 100% accelerated my playing ability, my mind for the game, and everything. So those were like really valuable years as not only player, but having him as a friend, because he's one of, we've had our rough patches, but he's one of my best friends for sure, and he's been a mentor through it all. And
he's a very like his coaching style is very delicate and non-abrasive, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I would say not. I think that the reason that that he did such a good job with you, and I'd bet that you could attest to it, is that he's going to shoot it straight. He's going to, kind of lay into you too a little bit and
Oh
let
yeah,
when you've really messed up or what we need to do in those certain situations. So I'd kind of like to dive into his style a little, because I think he's a really great coach and he's
for
done a
sure.
lot for Texas paintball.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're definitely spot on with. It's funny, coaches, and when you're coaching and playing, all this stuff, personalities are what really either makes a bond work or not, and makes it fun or not. Greg and I had a great relationship and great. He wasn't super. I mean, he was hard on me, but I wanted that. I welcomed that challenge, so it was a little different for me. I don't necessarily see it as like an abrasive way. I really did value it. I wanted it all. I would pester him about things. How can I get better? What can I do? What can we do in this situation? Blah blah
I mean,
blah.
that's how we all came up. We
Yeah.
it was hard knocks on the streets for in the paintball field.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Greg Pauly was my coach for a season, actually, on Aftermath. He coached our 7-man team.
Yeah.
When we were kids. Yeah. So definitely know how GP does it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a beast. He's, I mean, a really, really good coach. He's in the conversation for, the best coach out there. He's done a lot for paintball, and it's not an easy job. Marcelo, you know that. Meter, you know that. It's a very difficult thing. You're juggling all the personalities, so it's a task.
Yeah. But then, yeah, for Greg, I mean, so yeah, like I said, we intersected in 2012, and from the player that I started at when I first met him to the player who I thought when I thought I was a shit, to at the very end of that year, 2012 with Storm, a totally different player, totally different mind, totally different person. Because it wasn't that I thought I was a shit. It was that, I don't care about what you are, what I am. I want to be. I want to be better. I want to continue to grow. And that was like the straight up the plan. I mean, we trained, weekly. During the week, we did clinics. We made an entire organization. We made AC. That's how far my relationship with Greg goes. He and I came to him as an apprentice, and then I became like a mentor mentee with him. We took on this AC journey with Division 5 players, and then it was like 4 or 5 years we have a pro team. And we went through over 100 people. We had an entire organization. We had one team. We had 5 teams. We had out of state teams that we were responsible for. We did a lot of paintball, a lot of training, a lot of working with personalities, and I got to see I've seen it all with Greg. We've been through it all. We've seen it all, and it's cool to still have a piece of some, AC. It's still there. So
yeah,
that's I could go on. We could go anywhere with that, but that's working with Greg was instrumental to my come up for sure.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I actually didn't know that you were so close with the AC camp. I didn't realize that your roots were in that area like that.
Yeah, AC started as like a project that we took on when we were on Texas Storm. There was a team called Texas Shockwave, and they were like a divisional organization, and they were great for paintball and all that. And they just had, we were looking to start something that we could do something similar with, and we saw some of their players that were playing. It's funny because the people that they are now, they're great players, but initially we all sucked. And when we had this idea to make this team of this group of guys, everybody that we knew were like the hell are you doing? This is not it. You're working with the purple people eaters. This isn't it. And I was like, nah, dude, I think we got something here. And I mean, those guys are Nathan Roberts, Michael Diaz.
Wow, yeah.
Those are the guys who are still playing today. But I mean, Nathan's a monster, and Diaz is now playing pro. He made his pro debut with AC Dallas after not playing for a little bit, taking his hiatus, finding his way back into that program. And so now he's playing pro again, or now he's playing pro in general.
That's awesome. Congrats, man. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's an awesome thing. And then, I mean, like I said, we've been through 100+ people.
Yeah.
And
talk about
cool.
that. That's crazy. People try to run organizations and just, can't even barely get by with a 10 or 15. And you guys had 100, over 100.
Yeah, we had a lot. It was insane.
It's insanity.
Greg handled a lot of that. I handled the players. I would be the good cop. He would be the bad cop. That's how that whole yin and yang worked. I would be in the pits, and he would be on this is when you could coach on the sideline. He would be on the sideline coaching these guys. So we collected tons of hardware with those guys. That was like the aftermath of Texas. Your era aftermath was AC era here.
Makes sense too. With Greg Pauly, of course. Yeah, man, it's cool. I love that on the show we always learn a little something new. Ty, I'm not sure if you knew that, but
no, I didn't.
Yeah,
that's
cool
crazy
to know how involved you were with the start of that camp.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Meter. What year was this?
We started in 2012.
Okay, got it.
And then it grew from. I went pro in 2013. Played with X Factor, and in 2015 AC went pro, and that gets messy, but I ended up leaving X Factor to go play for AC, and then
after winning the world championship.
Yeah, we won in 2013 and 2014. Right. We had that Champs and Challengers thing, and there's just a bunch of different things going on. I mean, it's hard to even grasp what. I don't even remember why or what happened. I just know I ended up playing with AC, and that's like how it ended up, and that kind of didn't work out. A lot of factors go into that. We grew a bit too fast. We brought in a bunch of people that I definitely didn't think we should have brought in. It just wasn't. It was no longer the team that we made, and that's when friendships get tested. And there's a lot of factors that go on to things. There's reasons why things break up, and it doesn't mean there's any malice or any ill will or anything like that. No. It was just, that was a situation, and pretty early into that decision, I realized this is not what I wanted to be doing. So I departed AC Dallas in 2015 mid-season. Actually, after the PSP ended, I started playing with, I played the first NXL with AC, and then I played with Infamous from then on out.
I remember those days, the Infamous days.
Yeah, baby.
So how did the whole transition into X Factor happen? And then we'll kind of stream through that. I think that was your first year was 13.
Yeah. So after Texas Storm, we had a great year. We won the first PSP. We won the first Huntington Beach. We had Rainey play with us. So that's where Rainman and I also have like our friendship starts there. And that's pretty cool because Rainey just came back into the game after his retirement. So we won our first tournament together, his first event back, I guess, or second event back. But, so that's how that all started, all these little friendships and relationships that kind of, when you talk on a podcast now, it's like, I have this with this guy. I play with that guy. And it's like, at the end of the day, at the end of your career, you have a really pretty collage of memories and friendships and stories that you get to take with you to the Play the Game podcast.
It's the best. So
after 2012, this is my second or third year in Division I. I definitely wanted to go pro. There was no question about that. I wanted to go pro when I was 12. So it was like, no, I'm ready to make that move. My first run in with X Factor, it just was any of the X Factor guys was spoken about it. There was the era called the Dark Ages. It was when Alex Martinez wasn't really present. He had some real life stuff he had to deal with. Archie was playing with Dynasty. and X Factor just didn't. It was Grayson and Colt that kept that team kind of alive for the 2010 to 2013 years. 2012, they got Billy and everything started looking up again. Then I came on in 2013, made my pro debut. We had a weird season where, you know, we do really well, go 2-2, like 2-2 champs, and like just the inconsistent X factor that, you know, that narrative had at that time. And then World Cup came and we, you know, made magic happen. We were able to get into a position where we were, you know, playing in the finals at World Cup, and we won the tournament. And that was a gnarly event. We squeaked into that semifinal situation by like 1 point. It was one of those things where you had to watch Infamous play someone and someone had to lose. And then you're like, oh my God, we did it. It was like the one time that ever works out for you. And we made it count. And that was my rookie year. I won Rookie of the Year. We won World Cup together. And I mean, that was a pretty magical experience. We won it with Paul Richards. And I mean, that's another thing with
rest in
Paul,
peace to Paul. He's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, pretty incredible story right there. I mean, he won his last World Cup he coached, and that's, I'm pretty sure. So that's pretty remarkable. That is, for those out there who don't know, I mean, he's the inventor of the speed feed and one of the best coaches of all time.
Yeah. He's an amazing guy. I got to get coached by him on damage for a little bit, and I'll never forget talking with him about paintball and just picking his brain. He's such a smart coach.
He was brilliant. You know what he did too? He wrote shit down.
Yeah.
He would literally write down what you were going to go do. Tyler is going to go to the corner.
Yeah.
Marcelo, trail, Tyler, blah, 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 blah. And be like, what? And then you look down at his little notepad, and sure enough, that's what you're doing. You're trailing Tyler to the corner. And you're like, what? And, but he did. And he taught, he gave a lot of himself to everything that he did, especially that last year on X Factor. Or for him, it was incredible. He taught Ryan a lot. He taught Alex a lot. He taught our entire team a ton. He taught us how to win, how to be a team. Tons of things that I don't think maybe have opportunity to be brought to light. But Paul Richards was instrumental to X Factor being what it is and who we are today.
Yeah. How many seasons was he a part of the camp?
Just one. Just that
that
year.
one. Yeah. Wow.
And it was a unique situation. We had two coaches. We had Ryan Brand and Paul. And so there was like definitely a competition between the two, right? Ryan's a younger coach and trying to mature and gain knowledge and be the shot caller that he is today, but wasn't then. And then you had Paul, a very established, older, mature in all shape, way, and form as far as, you know, his coaching ability to literal age. So we had this unique balance, and, you know, they'd both take we'd give them matches to coach, and it was a crazy, unique thing at that time. Something that's probably, very rare, very weird for it to happen, and probably wouldn't happen again in any situation, but it's really awesome that we had that. I mean, incredible. And then
more
the finish
insights.
is a movie. Yeah, more insight for sure.
That's really interesting. And then, so moving into like 2014 and 15, what happened in those seasons?
2014, I played with X Factor, and we had a good time. We played the champs and challengers.
I know.
That was an interesting time.
That was crazy.
I liked it, and I didn't like it at the same time, but it was fun. We won, whatever. We got relegated, and we won the West Coast Open, but that was the only win as far as, actually winning that year, and that sucked for sure. And then the reason why I departed was our AC team did really well in Division 1, and these guys are accelerating fast through the ranks, and it's like, in hindsight, it's easy to say we definitely should have just slowed it down, because we lost a lot of what the team was. We only retained one player from the original team to that team. And that's Nathan Roberts. So that,
Damn.
yeah, I mean, that just shows, I mean, we grew very fast, we grew very fast, and some people got phased out. And when we made the decision to go pro, I mean, that's the weird thing about it too, right? It's like, how I'm a player and I'm involved in, an ownership type degree of this team. And Greg kind of, everyone makes their own decisions at the end of the day. But I felt like I was kind of, pushed into a direction to go play for AC and come home, blah, 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 blah. And so we did it. And
Good story, of course.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, the things that happen, you don't always get the Hollywood ending and Hollywood script that you want, right? There's players that you don't get, players that you do get that you don't get along with, and culture change of the team, and just a lot of things went in a different direction. And all those were factors that weighed more on Greg and I's relationship than anything else. So above anything, it's you and I, right? Like it's our thing. And then when it's not really our thing anymore and it's changing, and then there's different pressures and people are, just the way you treat each other is getting a little more intense and not so much whether it's the respect or whatever it is. We were just going at each other, right? And there was no big blow up. There was no big nothing. We just had one disagreement. I said, I'm out. And that was literally it. And that was how I left AC. If I could do it over differently, would I do anything else? Probably not. I'd probably just make sure my relationship with Greg was right. And whatever was going on, we actually sat down and we figured it out instead of just being non-confrontational and we both just split, very much a relationship, it's a lot bad going on. Sometimes it's easier just to cut it and move on. And with paintball, I'll be the first one to say, like, we get to do this because it's a choice and you should do it for whatever it is that you want out of it. There's such a thing as loyalty. Absolutely. There are many factors to that, but you see this a lot when people change teams or whatever it is. I mean, there's reasons, there's financial reasons, there's what you want, there's what you're getting, there is the reality, and you get to choose whatever it is you want from paintball. And I would encourage people to fight for that right, because I feel like there's a lot of years and a lot of times where people will push or like suffer through something that maybe they shouldn't have to. And of course there is, like, you got to suffer a little bit to get to the good. Of course, you don't get to just hop around and do whatever. But at the end of the day, if paintball is bringing you distress and like in a negative way, like an actual mental health bad way, you got to do the right thing for you. You don't have to be in this bad relationship. You can go be in a good one or create one for yourself, figure it out. And that's kind of like, in a nutshell, what happened between Greg, a very real thing, a very real, split that hurt a lot of people in the process. It sucked for me as much as it sucked for my teammates that I left high and dry, for sure. But that's the reality of it. And you got to be upfront and welcome those things and bring up discussions like this. Like there's valuable notes and nuggets in that little bit, as weird and vulnerable as it is. Like, someone out there, I know it will speak to. And that's like, I didn't have those little things out in the universe for me to listen to and to vibe with and like understand what I'm going through and what maybe is the right path or the wrong path. And maybe there is no right or wrong. There is just paths. But you got to go do what you want to go do. And you don't get, there's a phrase, I don't know if I made it up or what it is, but you're not rewarded for your sufferance. You just aren't. I'm sure there's ways people will attack it differently, but if you're trying to attack what I'm saying, you're not getting what I'm telling you. Sufferance is not rewarded if it's like draining you in a negative, like super negative way, and taking away what is like you, and it's changing you. That's a toxin. That's bad. We got to get that out of there.
Like you said, there's, on the flip side of the coin, people are going to say, well, success is only created out of the struggle and all that kind of stuff, and that is true as
There's
well.
still struggles, baby.
That's
You
right.
know?
That's what I'm trying to say, is that's true as well. But it's like, you don't have to be getting played like a fiddle, or worked over in different ways that are even, it's just like, you can be happy. That's definitely an option on the table. Happiness is
Yeah,
always an option.
for sure. And it
Yeah.
should be. If it's not, it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's paintball is it's a sport, and in sports you have things that happen with teams and moves, and that's all part of the sport aspect of what we do.
Mhm.
Paintball is probably a little different, just because it's like a niche sport and people get really attached to things in paintball
Yeah, it's
because
very emotional. It gets
uh-huh.
super deep.
Hmm.
And get as vulnerable as you want to get with it, for sure.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it is sports, and we don't like, I mean, there are some players in sports, I guess, that people go nuts over, but for the most part, it's like, trades, this team, this player, all these things are happening, and the game of paintball needs that as well. We need to be doing what real sports
You
do,
gotta
and building.
welcome, yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta welcome these narratives, and like
Yeah.
that's what, yeah, you gotta
Pro
be
athletes get
open to these.
ripped for switching teams, even when they're traded.
Uh-huh.
It's
Oh yeah.
yeah, they get ripped for it. It's just part of
Annihilated.
it. It's the nature of the beast.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, I know. You know who you're talking
Yeah.
to?
Yeah, you're in the shoes
Yeah,
right now, baby.
bro.
Yeah.
It was the roughest. I mean, it's not so heavy anymore, but it was super heavy there for a minute, and people coming at you from all angles. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
definitely the real deal.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're passionate about it, right? This is a very vulnerable part of you, no matter how tough you think you are. Like, you take paintball away, if you get released from a team or people don't like you anymore for whatever, that hurts. That will hurt you. I don't
Mhm.
care who you are. It will hurt you.
Of course.
And,
Yeah.
it, you know, we need to be the people who like celebrate it. We got to
Mhm.
celebrate the change. You got to celebrate the narrative shifts. You got to celebrate these things and take the positives from it, instead of
Yeah.
the grueling toxic culture that we do have in our community of paintball. Like, we do
Mhm.
have a lot of negative comments that you don't need.
Exactly.
We gotta boost,
Well,
like you
that's
guys
right, baby.
promote
Boost.
often.
And that comes from an awareness shift. If you knew better, you would do better. All that those kind of words do is muck about and create density, and you're not light in those moments. You can feel the density in things like that, just
Mhm.
cognitively, of when you think about it, and then in the energy field with it as well. When you're in it, it's just super dense. So if you knew better, you would do better. If you knew the power of the words that you speak and the words that you hold inside, and all this, it's straight up magic, man. It creates a whole paradigm shift from within, and we're able to make really cool things happen. But if we don't have that energy, even if it's just a couple or three things that are offered, anything, it shifts it all, and it all has to be in alignment. So
Mhm.
it's a juggling act at the same time, but we got to make sure that, yeah, we're digging deep, we're gritting it out and going above and beyond, but at the same time, doing what's right in each moment, and playing that game, having fun.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. So let's dive back into. I believe you made the move to Infamous, right? That's where we're at.
Yeah,
2016.
yeah, we're on Infamous now. And this is when the NXL just started, so it's like the debut year for the NXL. I'm now playing for Los Angeles Infamous.
Well, hold on.
Had
Did you join them in 15 or 16?
15, but 2015 is when it started. Cleveland, or
Right.
yes,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
They had PSP as the first event, and then it went into the
Mhm.
NXL. Okay. Gotcha.
Mhm. Um, so I forget what event. Yeah, but now I'm on Infamous, and so that was kind of just like a crazy shift. Damien, Mouse, Bobby, all those guys, a lot of people that in paintball, you have your friends that are on your team, then you have a lot of your other guys that you vibe with that aren't on your team. So that was like the jump for me. I just went to a place where I knew a lot of the people, and they welcomed me with open arms, and they wanted me to be there. And so that was really cool to be exposed to Travis Lemansky. And I mean, these are just all people I grew up watching. That's the crazy thing about this whole thing. I mean, even you two, like I grew up watching you guys. So in all these paths that I'm on, from North Carolina to Jesters to back to Texas to now here, it's like, dude, these are just check marks. Like I grew up playing in PBC Rock Hill. Like what? I'm from Texas, and then now I'm on Infamous, getting coached by Travis and hanging out with Mouse, Callie, and Bobby, Damian, Brad. I mean,
that team was great. That was a great team.
A lot of fun. So play with them for 2 years or like a season and a half. Ended up tearing my ACL against Dynasty in 2017 Vegas, I want to say it was. But I was able to come back that year. So that was pretty incredible. Wow. And was able to finish the year with them. And at the end of that year, it was tough. There was a lot of political stuff going on in the paintball world regarding people's careers and where people were able to work and who you're able to play for, and a lot of politicking that I don't think should be involved in the game, period. Like straight up, it was heartbreaking to be a part of teams that get broken up because of the business side of paintball, right? We all do this for passion and love, right? So why are we getting told we can't do something or whatever? In situations are different, of course, but the general theme is you shouldn't be told you can't go do something with someone that you want to go do it with because some guy somewhere who you don't even know says it's not allowed. Like I'm not into that narrative at all. This is paintball. We choose to do this. We should be able to do this with whoever, whenever we want. That is like the rights of paintball. I'm going to write them and we're going to make them. And that's going to be number one. That is like it. That should be your right. Because it was devastating to watch. And of course, with this situation, it's a little delicate because of it's a factory team, Infamous. And so a lot of the guys basically just no longer worked for the company. And I think our first departure, if I can remember this correctly, was Brad. And that sucked. Like losing Brad was sad because that was the Plums, baby, the Skelly squad. That was the family. I mean, we really were like a goofy group of friends who like loved playing ball, loved ripping it, loved having good times. Like that was what that team was and always will be. That's Infamous. And it's awesome that Travis has been able to rejuvenate at times a million and keep that whole thing alive. Each team encompasses like personalities that the sport needs, and Infamous is just one of those. Dynasty Infamous, they have their thing. Like they have their families, they have their personality traits. So at that time, to dive back in, we lose Brad. There's definitely push-pull everywhere. We're losing Mouse. I think we lose Bobby. It's just like at the end of the year, the writing's on the wall. What's going on? At World Cup, we knew what was happening. And that was like one of the saddest events ever. Yeah.
Real quick, Meter, I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think this was 2017 that you went to the Ironmen, wasn't it? Wasn't because Mouse left
2018, I went to the Ironmen.
Okay. So didn't Mouse leave Infamous
2017?
2017? Impact. He played with Impact in 17.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
I played with Mouse in 2016, and then 2017. Okay. We didn't have Mouse. We lost Mouse.
Before that,
I don't know why.
Yeah. I thought you tore your ACL in Vegas of 16 too against us, but I mean, I'm sure you know that more than I do.
Honestly, I may be wrong on my years.
Yeah, me too. I don't know.
Totally be. I could totally be. For some reason, I remember that. I tore my ACL against Dynasty.
I even think you were bunkering me. You were bunkering one of us out of a Dorito.
I bunkered you.
I think so. That's what you get.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I bunkered you, and then you took my ACL for your own.
I needed it. I still need it. I could use a couple of them. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
good to have
so
we're
like at the end of 2017.
Yeah, we're wherever we are at the end of 2017. We're going into World Cup. The writing's on the wall. Infamous is kind of in a weird place, and for me, I just really wasn't into that. And just know that I've been traveling a lot in my career already, so it was like, man. And the way that Infamous was practicing at that time, we were playing in Arkansas, and it just wasn't what I was looking for, really. Like, I wanted to play a lot of paintball and have more of a routine than what was going on at that time. And so at the end of the year, everything being sad and kind of going through like what I want to do and what I want out of paintball. And at my age at that time, I'm like 23. I'm like, I definitely want to play a lot and max out, do as much as I can these couple of years. So an opportunity arose to go to the Ironmen. Another situation where a bunch of my friends are on that team, and Scott Kemp, Bobby's over there, Paxton's over there. So a bunch of guys that I really enjoy being around. Todd was coaching. And at the time, it seemed like it was going to be a really good thing. Signed over, went over there. Travis and I were working out a deal to stay, and it sucked. In retrospect, you're able to see everything as before or after the result, so you're like, oh, okay. But even in the moment, I was like, maybe I'm doing something again I shouldn't really be doing. Is this what you want to do? What do you want to do? And I should have been more knowledgeable, and I just didn't know. I didn't know the things I was getting myself into. So I go onto the Ironman, and it seems like it's going to be a really good time. A bunch of my friends, we're going to play. Todd's motivated. Everything's good. Get over there, and it's just not. That's not what's really going on. Where I move over there. I moved from Texas to California, live in San Diego, and just whether it was that, it's hard to even say because I don't even know the full deal. But it just felt like there was a lot of people playing Puppet Master, and we weren't really able to do the things that I felt like we were. I signed on to be a part of. I signed a 2-year contract with the team, so I was in it. I was committed to playing, living out there, and doing the damn thing. And the damn thing wasn't really happening, and it sucked because I did this decision, main motivation out of friends and wanting to play more. And I love my friends. I still love Bobby, still love Scott, still love Pax, still love those guys. But where I was in my paintball career, they were on a different side. They were phasing out, really, where the paintball just wasn't the biggest motivation. And that sucked for me. And I'm kind of stuck here now where trying to make the best of it. And it just felt like a lot of things just were against you. Whenever you wanted to do something, something was against you. Whenever anything was going on, it just wasn't a good time to be on the Ironman and play the season with them. And our team, another thing, we're building something really good, and we were working on getting Short and Spica, and we're working on a bunch of different things to have a complete team. Well, I signed the paperwork and we don't have a complete team. And then it kind of just stopped there. Like we had Greg, we had Bobby, we had me, Scott, Pax, Keith DeVitt, all these other guys, Al, Jerry. And I mean, it just wasn't a complete team. And it never got to a complete team. We never were a real team. There's division throughout, and that sucked. Openly. I mean, you can't get more honest than this. That sucked. Because I committed. What's up?
Straight up.
Yeah, not good. And then sometimes in this whole mess of paintball and politicking, you're not the guy who is on the highest on the totem pole. So at the end of the year, I get released in a really shitty fashion. I'm not told directly. To this day, wasn't told directly. Todd tells me, hey, Billy's cutting you. I call Billy. Billy says that's not the conversation I just had with Todd. And then at that point, I realized there's snakes in the grass, and I don't really need to be a part of any of this. I don't care to know. I don't want to know. I'm out. I leave my lease. I'm paying because I bought it. Apartment. I'm renting an apartment there, and I'm under the impression I'm going to be there for 2 years. So I leave my lease, pay a lot of money, and at that point, I'm the type of guy, once it's over, we're good, dude. We don't got to talk. We don't got to do anything. We're good. So that's how I left it with Todd. And I mean, there's no like super hard feelings at this point, but I mean, it's just like, there's just respect wasn't there. Whether it's confrontation thing or whatever it was, the respect wasn't there for me to him and him to me. And that sucked because we were really good friends before that whole thing. And the reason why we didn't, where that friendship had its issues, it sucked to that happen because I committed a lot to that entire decision. I made a lot of decisions in my personal life to make this decision for my friends work. Sometimes it doesn't work out, and you have an opportunity to walk away being a sourpuss or smile and be happy with where you're at now. And that's where I'm happy to be now. And that's also where the whole 3-year thing of my play and how everything is now came to be. I left the team. I was devastated. I mean, for sure. I've never been cut from anything. I've never had any of that. So that was very
What was your big takeaway from that whole experience? I mean, you moved your whole entire existence and
yeah.
then it kind of crumbled. What is a good bit of information that we can take away from that moving forward?
I mean, there's tons, but at the same time, it's hard to say because I don't have the
Yeah.
information. There's nothing to say for the decisions going into it. If you have good intentions at heart,
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't work out. And it's not a smear campaign. This is just keeping it legit because I feel like that's what the PTG fans deserve. You deserve to hear the truth. And I think these stories are the things. There's so much in paintball that gets brushed under, and we got to address some shit for sure. We do, top bottom, whether it's the industry stuff to
when you
players.
got let go, was it because, I mean, did you feel like you were playing at the highest level that you could possibly be playing, and was everything going good, or was there just super tumultuous things going on, or how did that pan out?
So yeah, I missed you on the first half of what you said.
So I was just saying, when you got let go from the team, did you feel like you were playing the best paintball that you could possibly be playing,
No,
or okay?
no way. I don't think the team was in general.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
we
what I was
didn't,
kind of
we
getting
didn't.
into, is like a bunch of
Yeah,
tumultuous stuff
no,
going on, and yeah. Yeah, and that's hard.
the
That's
team
hard as an
and it.
organization to navigate as well. I mean, for anybody from top to bottom, that just
Yeah, and it's
sounds
not a
like
me.
a mess. Yeah.
It was just a mess. It was a mismanaged mess, and it just
Yeah, it
sucked that
sounds
I
like
was
it.
the one to commit a lot
Mhm.
to the mismanaged mess. I mean, that
Mhm.
was it. There's no like true finger pointing. There was a lot of things
Mhm.
not going right over there.
Well, you definitely learned a lot on that, and it made you a more well-rounded person and player moving forward into your paintball career. Like I said, you know, I remember those years. I remember watching that mess. I was out at Camp Pendleton during all of those years, and it's such a hard thing. Running a paintball team is
it's
tremendously difficult,
super hard.
especially yeah, and sometimes things don't go well, but we can always try and do better moving into the future, and just carry that good energy, like you said, forward into whatever endeavors we navigate.
For sure. And it comes down to so many different things, personalities, and yeah, at that time the Ironman, it just
Hmm.
wasn't there. And it wasn't there for a long time for the Ironman. And then it was awesome that they got to go win, a year later, a year or two later.
Yeah,
Um that first event, or I guess it was 2 years ago.
2 years. Yeah,
Yeah. So that's a really cool
dude,
story.
that was crazy. I'll
It was
I'll never
nuts.
forget that tournament. That was
Yeah, nuts.
insane.
But it's, and that's paintball. There's going to be the ups and downs, and
Yeah.
teams are going to go through that. And it's really hard to get back on track to a healthy thing. That's where team chemistry, it's such a balance, and the power struggles within the team. And there's
Hmm.
so much that goes into it that makes this whole thing fun. That's the thing. Even though it was so miserable, it was a lot of fun. I had so much good times with Paxton and Scott and Bobby, and even Greg Sewers, we had, he'd always crash at my place, and there's tons of good moments to look back on. The paintball part sucked. So that's what I would say. If you're going to go do that, at least look at the good things and make sure you got more good things than bad. And then you can be happy moving forward. But to tie it back in, so at the end of that year, I'm released. I don't want to play at all. I'm just like, no, I'm good. You guys burn me pretty good. I'm going to not play anymore. And I'm just going to, heal from this, I guess. That didn't last too long because I had a couple of people calling me like, hey, blah, 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 you need to get back in there. And I was totally out. I had zero desire. I did not care. Didn't want to do it. And then another funny place I get to plug in, and it just comes back to the people we grew up watching again. I get calls and texts from Mike Bruno and Rennick Miller, and I'm just like, what the hell are these dudes doing? Why are they messaging me? And they're like, we need you to play for Shock. Oh, I'm like, no way. You guys, at the time, Shock was not good. So it's like, no, this is not what I want to go do. And then it was more of a personal thing between Bruno and Rennick and myself. And I was like, that's pretty badass that these guys, I mean, even then they're in the situation, it's still pretty badass to look down at your phone and be,
Of course.
me, and look down and be like, damn, Rennick Miller's hitting me up. That was a cool thing. And that kind of sparked me to want to do it again. It started with playing 10-man. Funny enough, I played 10-man with Shock, the OG Shock, real Shock, Richie Malachewski, Mike Bruno, Billy Saransky, Todd Adamson. So I'm good to hang out with all those guys. And then that's how everything started. The lights started coming back on. I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. I'm enjoying this part of it and being passionate about it. And I've say this a lot in, the deep conversations you have with your teammates, but changing your relationship to the game is such a instrumental thing. And people don't understand it when I say that. But like I said, when you're growing up, you have a passion, and that's what drives you for so long. But then whatever it is, something will change in you, and you got to find out what it is that brings you back in. Whether it's the competitiveness, whether it's financial, whether it's whatever's driving you back into the game. You got to figure out what it is that's going to motivate you and turn the sparks and get the sparks going and make you compelled to play again, and want to do it. And there's a major difference between playing paintball and then wanting to play paintball. You can see it in players, and it can change in a year. It can change in a weekend. It can change, that's the thing. It's you talk about being in that moment. You can tell when people are off the moment, second behind or a minute ahead, I can tell you're not here. So finding out how to get there is a major part. And that's what that whole Ironman process, or disaster kind of can teach you. And I had to be in that state to kind of be brought back into a new one. And it was incredible. So major kudos, appreciation to Rennick, Bruno, and all the OG Shock guys. And then of course, Alex Martinez is the real MVP to bring me back into tournament paintball, playing pro paintball again.
Yeah. What a great guy. And shout out to the Ironmen and everything that they're doing with Fran and Nikki. And their
I love
camp
what they're doing. Love what they're doing.
Yeah. They have a really good thing going. And she is amazing. I mean, she's the pioneer of what she's doing for coaching as the first pro coach female, and she's dominating at it. So major shout out to them. And Alex, dude, what a guy he is, opening up his doors and being like, yo, come play some ball with X Factor. And it's been a great ride. You guys have really done some special things in the last few years, and you'll continue to do so, just because you guys have a great organization with colorful characters that love the game and play it at the highest level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Coming back into that team was a lot of fun. Still is a lot of fun, but it's been crazy. It's been a wild ride, but that injection back in, and just the desire to be there and all that. That's what it really all came down to. Nothing changed some things actually did change. I train entirely differently. I can't believe I discredit the whole thing. I changed everything about how I approach the game. Cause I did it. It's just like been, so long, and like, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal, but no, I started working out in a totally different way. I got a trainer.
After the Ironmen year.
After the Ironmen.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff do you do differently now?
Well, I have a trainer, and I reached out to Equinox for like a sponsorship and actually landed it partially. And then COVID happened. Then they're like, all right, sponsorship gone. I was like, fuck. But, so initially came back. I was just in a really bad spot mentally and everything, bad girlfriend. Because those are there too. Along all the roads of paintball, you got the bad girlfriends too, and they definitely spicing up the path. So yeah, we're in one of those situations, and you're just down and out and not working out, not doing things you need to be doing, not eating. My big thing is eating. I don't eat often. I either turn it on, I'm eating everything, ice cream, pint, blah, 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 doing whatever. But in general, it's like a struggle for me to eat. I just can go without it until it's like, I haven't eaten anything today. We gotta eat.
Yeah.
As an athlete, that's like, and that's the worst thing you can do to your body. And of course there's the fasted stuff, but we're not talking fast. We're talking like depression, not eating. So all that, I'm like, fuck this. I gotta switch this all up because this isn't me. I'm not who I know I am anymore, and we gotta switch it all up. So through the working out, we're doing a lot of course, I'm gonna blank and like totally butcher like what it is we're doing now. But it's like, it's not functional movement because I know the gurus hate functional stuff, but like it is like a bunch of supersetting like a core exercise into like a deadlift or like a movement exercise. Marcel, you're the expert. Tell me what.
I mean, I actually I agree that functional movement. I think functional movement is a lot of what we do, and I think it's really important for paintball. Body weight mechanics, things that are going to prepare you for what we actually do. Not so much static lifting and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's
no powerlifting, no powerlifting stuff.
Yeah.
All the stuff we're doing is like, I just don't remember all the things we're using. We're using a bunch of
resistance bands.
Just God, my trainer's gonna listen to this and be like, "Do you not pay attention to anything we do?" I'm like, I definitely do. I just don't want to remember it.
I'm sure you do stuff to improve your range of motion throughout the body.
Yeah. I do yoga. I do the sauna bit. I do all that stuff in conjunction with the workouts that we do. And it's very similar to like what top NBA athletes are doing. Is like probably the easiest comparison to what I'm doing in the gym.
So do you feel like doing these training regimens, exercises has helped your paintball game?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Yeah, you don't get, obviously your athleticism goes up. You can play more, you can play longer, you can fight off injuries way more effectively and preventatively by working out and just moving. But don't get it twisted. There's no shape like paintball shape. Best way to be like paintball fit is to play paintball. It's not lifting the weights. It's not pushing the sleds. It's not doing any of that shit. It is playing paintball. Have the mask on and going out and doing it. That is like,
that's it.
Superior. But the gym only accentuates what you can go do on the paintball field. So that yin and yang can provide incredible results.
Yeah. Absolutely.
100%. Hey, real quick before we dive back into your story with that, your time with X Factor, and you guys went on a massive run in 2019. We are going to have Steve, one of our GOAT supporters, call in. It's getting pretty late over on the East Coast. I know he's been standing by.
Shout out to Steve.
Shout out to Steve. So let's see.
Let's go.
Hold on 1 second. Let's get this connected.
Steve, we're connected in. You're on the air.
Steve,
what is going on, guys? You guys hear me okay?
We got you.
We got you, brother.
What's up, Tyler? What's up, Cello?
What up, dude? Steve, let's go. Hey, we're going to be calling and asking you questions on the show live, too, so have that phone handy.
Young Stevie.
Yeah. Let's get it.
Pull things up. All right. Well, Stevie, we have Meter here. We've been having a great show. Actually, we're about 2.5 hours in. Still not even through his whole adventure. This is one that the community is going to love, that's for sure. But we knew it was getting late, so we wanted to get your call in, and know you had a question for Meter.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, Meter?
What's up, Steve?
Yeah, I have two. The first one, Meter, you played for a local team, the New Jersey Jesters, 2010. Do you have any crazy stories from your time with the Jesters? Because they are well known for crazy stories.
Tons.
And after that, I don't know, Cello, you want me to answer both questions and then let you guys talk, or you want me to stick around?
Yeah, just we'll get to the second question after he answers this one.
All right, cool. Go ahead, you can answer that one.
The crazy Jester stories. I mean, there's definitely a plethora. There's tons of them.
We were just talking about face slaps that they were doing.
Yeah, the Mount Rushmore face slap is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, you'd line everybody up and slap them.
Steve, you know where that video is?
I do know where that video is, and I can get that for you.
Yes. Okay, you got to send that. We were talking about it earlier on the show, and I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that video. Young Stevie coming through.
Stevie.
Send us the video. We're going to put it up on the PTGIG.
Stay left.
All right, so you got to give us a good Jester story, not the face slap. There's got to be another funny one. Someone got, I don't know, something happened.
I mean, there's tons of funny ones, but like I said, it was like a big fraternity at the time. So they had multiple teams, and all the divisions under you would do whatever you wanted them to do for you. So you ask for food, they get your food. I mean, they're like your little servant. It was a fraternity, so you got your little the guys rushing, and they would go do whatever the hell it is that you wanted them to go do. So yeah, I mean, that Mount Rushmore story is the best because we were staying. It was in Chicago, and we won the event too. But we were staying like a Motel 6 or something. There were like bullet holes in the wall. It was one of those type of one of those staycations, and I'm just trying to remember them all. I gotta tell the Mount Rushmore story. That was just the best one. That's just,
I love it. Let's go.
We're in the parking lot of this Chirac Motel 6, and it's just all these younger people who shouldn't be where they are. Let's just say that. There's like no reason why they're there, and we're all in this parking lot. Police were just there the night before, and the security guy is telling you not to be out past like sunset or something, or like sunset.
Vampires come out at night.
Yeah. And so we're all out in the parking lot, and everyone is just like out on the railings, like watching what we're doing. And there's like 40, 50 of us. And Timmy, of course,
40 or 50
rolling deep.
Yeah,
we were deep.
Damn. Roll real
deep.
Sheesh.
Yeah. I mean, there are people who come back from like 15 years and they're like, oh yeah, I'm coming to the event to go watch or whatever. And we're all out in this parking lot. So he lines up like the Division 4 team, and he's like, Meter, you gotta come on, you gotta slap him. I'm like, there's no way, I can't do it. So I like give like a pity slap, tat tat tat, but don't like connect on the third or like the fourth one. He's like, oh, that's horrible. So he gets up there, he winds all the way back. It was actually this guy Matt Rohrman, and he winds all the way back, does a perfect slap, cheek, connect on all of them. And I mean, we just put on this big show for Motel 6 that just got shot up the night before. So that was probably one of the better ones.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the year, they did they had a New Jersey event that year. So we're all there hanging out, and Timmy gave out Kobe awards. I think we called our kills Kobe's at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I won the Kobe award, and it was like a basketball statue, a guy shooting, and it said your name. So not necessarily the funniest story, but just like really cool, inspiring like thing that
it's a brotherhood. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That
I still have it somewhere. I mean, I'm moving now, but I got to get it and put it on the wall or something.
Yeah.
Cause that's something I'll carry forever.
Mm-hmm. Love that.
Awesome.
All right. Hit him with part 2, Stevie.
Yeah, no, that's dope because they definitely still call their kill count Kobe's. So that's a good story. But the second one, Meter, listen, we have this in common. I think Kanye West is the best person alive. And Stella will laugh at me for this, but I have to ask you what your favorite Kanye album is and what your favorite pair of Yeezys are.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Definitely.
Shout out to Ye.
This is actually really funny. Yeah. This is a crazy story. This is where things get exciting, at least for my world. But
Is it the foam, the new foamies?
No,
you got the foams?
No. I have instead of the Yeezy foams, we got the Merrell foamies.
There we go.
The Merrells are the wave. But the best Ye album, this new one's gonna be pretty sick. But
My beautiful dark twisted.
Excited.
That's a 10. That's a perfect album. So it's hard to say that that's like your favorite because it's a perfect album. It's like
it's so good.
I don't like the Mona Lisa, but it's like Starry Night or something.
Talking about.
Yeah. But Yeezus is probably like the best, just for what it represents, what it stands for as a creative and a guy changing the industry.
I like you that much more with that answer. That is phenomenal.
No, I mean, if anyone in the PTG fam understands what I'm saying or talking about, I mean, that is like the most disruptive, beautiful, and just like therapy session of all time. What goes into that is so much. I mean, this guy's taken on fashion houses, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Fendi, calling out Anna Wintour. I mean, these people and these brands are just brands to people, but they're not just brands. These things shape society and the way we look, the way we dress. I mean, all those things are instrumental. And this is a guy, we all know what jogger pants are. Paintball is hijacked jogger pants. You know who invented the jogger pant in 2008? Kanye West, Virgil Abloh. They brought the leather joggers to Fendi. They denied them. And that's like a major part of the album. But Yeezus for sure.
So everybody doesn't even realize it, but they love Kanye because they all wear joggers. Everybody.
Exactly, Tyler. Exactly. And I don't even know. I can't see you guys, but I'm sure Marcelo's rolling his eyes right now. But like,
oh yeah,
dude, Meter, you can't hit the nail anymore on the head. That's perfect.
Well, it's awesome to have another paintball guy who is like in tune with that because it's a niche thing. I mean, it's more pop culture now, but if you know what I'm speaking to of that era, it's like that was revolutionary. Like for real, people will talk about that forever moving forward. The favorite shoe,
and they won't even recognize it either.
No. They may now because Kanye's the type of guy who will get, he'll go get his credit, but
and call a shot.
The shoe I have. So back in 2015, I was doing a lot of creative directing and working with a lot of creatives in New York and California, and I was going to fashion weeks, art Basels, and a bunch of different things for a multitude of reasons. But at the time, I was friends with this guy, Theophilus London, and he did an album. He had an album executively produced by Kanye, and he had a great song, Can't Stop, with Kanye on it, and it like ran the charts for a couple of years. Feel good song. But Theo gave me a pair of the original Yeezys that he was gifted.
Not gonna lie, those are pretty tight.
These got worn. They got blood on them. These bad boys were worn. But so this is probably my favorite silhouette just because of it being, and what I'm showing you, Steve, is actually the original Yeezy with Adidas. I think they're called the 750.
Okay, yeah, the turtle doves or the Pirate Black.
So yeah, the YouTube,
the high top.
YouTube will be able to see what we got cooking up here.
Oh, okay, you have the high tops. Yeah, I have the 750s in triple black. I love them. That's one of my favorite silhouettes.
Yeah,
dude,
no,
you guys in your shoes.
Two peas in a pod.
I like Steve.
I love Steve.
Two men of taste, unlike Marcelo. Tyler, I know he gets it. Marcelo's over there.
All right, it's time to go, Steve. Shout out to Gator Gang. Thank you for joining us.
Let's go.
Let's go, brother.
Guys,
hey,
have a great rest of your episode.
Hey, dude, thank you. You are a goat lord.
Yeah, Steve is the absolute goat lord. Everybody, let's a round of applause for Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Too much.
There we go, Steve.
He's putting the podcast to good use. All right, boys. Have a good night.
All right.
You too, brother.
Yeah, later, Steve.
Later.
That was great. You guys really hit it off there, and the shoe game is strong. I love that. The shoe game is strong.
Happy. I literally just have a random box of cords and stuff, and these shoes were there.
Yeah,
I mean, that's serendipity right there.
That's crazy. How are we to know that he's going to come on and ask that question? You have the shoes right there.
I don't even want to show what is to my left just because it's boxes of cords and it looks like a mess, but literally, I mean, they're That's crazy.
I think
Dude,
that little segment right there made me a slight Kanye fan. I think I think I'm turning a little bit.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. It was just kind of meant to be. Man.
Dude,
All right, Meter, let's hop back in, dude, because I definitely want to talk about the 2019 season where X Factor just caught fire, went on a run. I want to talk to you about, just what it takes for a team to do that, because, I think the three of us sitting here can definitely agree that there's just a certain feeling that you get when you're with an organization and you guys do catch fire, you do go on that run. There's a certain level of confidence. A lot of it's in the preparation. It's just, everything's clicking. So let's dive into that season.
Yeah. I'm trying to recall it all, but so I came in like midway in the 2018 season to X Factor, and we're able to kind of break the code. They were struggling to get a win, and so going into 2019, we played well in 2018 and kind of made some progress. But 2019, did we have Rainey then?
Yeah, that was when it came. Yep.
Okay,
yep.
Yeah. So we pick up Rainey. I'm stoked. Get Rain Man back in my life. Love that dude, and love playing with him. And we're able to kind of have X Factor is interesting because they've always had the tools. They've always had all these things. Players, they've had talent. They've just, for whatever reason, couldn't put it together. And so with the pickup of Rainey and me coming back and the way I was playing, I was more so a communicator. I mean, I was playing well and just being alive in situations and doing all that. But what I brought to the team was like an actual communicator, where you had Grayson and Archie, who are great at communicators, but you also want them to play, and there's a major difference in communicating and just going and being a killer, right? So it helps your killers if you have a communicator, and it also can work if everyone's doing, double time, double duty. Double duty is the best way, but if you don't get double duty, you need a communicator and a guy to see the field and able to play off the chaos and sort it out at the end. So with the addition of Rainey, that helped a ton because now we have another communicator, and he's a killer, and he's bringing what the team felt like they were getting impact in
totally
juju, right?
Impact info, insider trading at its finest. And so that was, that gave a boost. And Rainey's really direct, and where our team sometimes isn't, he'll definitely, we're stopping, we're talking about it, we're yelling about it, and we're figuring it out, or, it's chaos. We're going to get down to it. And that was missing with the team, for sure. Our team, we're all outspoken guys. We all, and a lot of teams are. This is like a very typical thing for top teams. It's easy to brush things under the rug. Rainey is valuable because he doesn't do that often. He's pretty open to the confrontation and conflict and resolution. Hopefully we have the resolution. So in 2019, the way we practiced, the way we address things, and just the overall hunger, because like you said, it's easy. This is a conversation that we can have because we've been a part of teams like that. And there's that hunger and that chip on your shoulder that should always be there, but sometimes it's different when the whole team has it. In 2019, the entire team had it, and we all wanted it, and we had the tools, we had the confidence, whether it's, the wind or it's just, it's real. So whatever it was, we had it. And I can't recall all the individual events. I just remember I'm starting to remember the ones that were winning. And we had LJ as well, who shined in Chicago, and we had a supporting cast. But what do you want to get into? Sorry. Well, no, I think you touched on it very well there. And actually the last thing you said about a supporting cast, that's crucial, dude. The whole team has to be on the same page. The whole team has to buy in. Everybody has to step up. You're never going to win an event on the back of one player.
No.
Throughout an event, you need multiple players to step up, have big moments throughout the event, win big games, and pick each other up when things aren't going the team's way. And it has to be someone different. And if it's not, you're going to struggle to win an event, period. And it seems like that's what was going on. And your guys' mentality was definitely spot on with that. You think a lot of that had to do with Rainey coming there and kind of inserting the, right ways to practice and prepare?
I don't think it's tough, right? Because of course it did, but I think a lot of it was individuals coming together and being accountable for what the hell they wanted to go do and execute. That's what it takes to win at our level. It takes the entire cast to want to. You make the decision. This is what we're going to go do, and if you win or you don't, that decision's still made before you win. If you don't make that decision and you just go and go and go and go, you're not winning. But if you make that decision as a team of individuals, now you're in the running to win the tournament. And so that's the way I see it. I think it's incredibly hard. We all practice. We all work hard. We all do things, right? Like, God, it's just, it's like, duh. But when you take the conscious effort to figure out what you need to bring, and Tyler thinks about the same thing, and Marcel, you think about the same thing, and we all come together and we do this, and you see it in each other's eyes, that's when we got something. Like we got it right now. Getting that first win was the getting to the summit of the peak, and winning that second one was like, all right, okay, we're really doing it, and then when you go like an impact run, when you continue to win is when you're like, all right, now that's like it now kind of actually fleeting. That magic is leaving because you've gotten that success and everybody else wants that. So that's where it's hard to keep the run alive, and where we are, and it's hard to say because COVID year reshuffles all the decks, and that sucks for us because it was like, yeah, we were just getting it, and in these past two events, to bring it to current day, we haven't, we have not been that team. We haven't been that hunger, or what that hunger wasn't present. A lot more eyes, not enough we's, that's at least my hot take. Rainey's addition to the 2019 team, his influence was definitely present, but that's like having a new person in the room, adding a new guy in the group chat, things, everyone's, on their toes a little bit. So everyone's not in their comfort zone. Everyone's kind of doing the best, showing the best, right? So once you settle in with a guy, once you just settle in, now you get to see what the team is. COVID or not, we're not producing. And that is not okay. It's not okay for me. It's not okay it shouldn't be okay for the team to do that to Alex, because that's the way I personally approach that situation. And I think you guys do too for your respective teams. Like, we do this for ourselves, of course, but you do it a lot better when you do it for someone else, in my opinion. When you have a person that you are playing for, if it's not each other, it's someone. And when it's each other and someone, that's when you have like the petri dish is very nutrient rich, and that's what you need to capitalize on in the moment. And to go off of Tyler's in the moment deal is like, that's where I feel we are, and we need to be for X Factor. You gotta, if my teammates are listening to this, you gotta find what it is within you to bring it home for Alex or for me. And if you don't like me, then do it for the guy you do like. We have to do that. That's like what needs to happen.
Yeah, you gotta dig deep for every single entity, has to be cohesive, and that's the only way, for sure.
And if it's changing your relationship to the game, if it's doing whatever it is you need to do, but when I show up to practice and something's going on, bro, everyone's got something going on, but we got to get it going on for Al, that's like what it is. And that's what's really unique about X Factor is, in Dynasty 2. And now Heat is becoming more of, they've always done the family thing, but these guys have been, that core of that team has been around for a long time with each other. But you need those guys to step up and be there for the team.
Yeah, I was the first addition in 5 years to the Heat organization. It's pretty crazy.
That is crazy, considering it's a team made up of, the way it came together. That's pretty cool that they've been together for 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And that goes hand in hand with the cohesion, it has to be there. There's no other way. I mean, point blank, there's no other way you're going to win at the highest level if the whole thing is not super cohesive and everybody is really working legitimately and passionately hard for each other.
Yeah.
It's going to be a longer road than it could be if we just applied that pressure and did it,
Yeah.
It's way more fun that way too. The story's way better
Oh,
when
for
you
sure.
got to grit it out,
That's what what I was trying to say. I just didn't put it together well. Like the advantages that these teams have, Heat, X Factor, Dynasty, this is the brotherhood and the family mentality, and every team has that, of course. But for us, I mean, it shows in the narratives and the performances when the teams are using because it can go the other way. The family thing, the brotherhood thing can very well go the other way against you when, the fingers start pointing and all that bullshit happens. That's part
You know how
of
to
it.
push each other's buttons better than anybody.
Oh yeah. But that's
Totally.
why we got to come together and that's what I think Dynasty and Heat do really well as far as the fun element. And I think both teams do really good jobs of making sure that is like a cornerstone of the process of being on that team and being a part of the win, because it makes the winning easier. It makes the winning worth it, because you make light of the hell that you go through to get there. You practice 14 days in a row. It's like, Jesus Christ, but it's worth it because you get the dub and all that can either work in your favor or go against you. And that's why it's really, you got to be quick on your toes to navigate out of the whatever is going on to get to the good. And it shows in all of our team's histories of
you
success.
Sound like my friend Bobby Weaverton.
Another shot.
Another shot.
Yeah. Douche. Yeah, for sure. You got to bob and weave and navigate the whole entire thing and just apply pressure, man. And if you do that and you have fun and enjoy the process, there's going to be shit. There's going to be schlep. There's going to be ups and downs, but enjoy it all. And then you can smile no matter what when you look
Enjoy
back
paintball.
on it. Enjoy paintball.
Enjoy paintball.
Shout out to Enjoy Paintball. Yeah. And, like what we've been saying too is like our whole movement is just to play and be playful, have a playful heart, and like try to navigate life and have fun and enjoy this process. It's a long process. It's also a very short process in the grand scheme of things. So cherish every moment that we have playing this awesome game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally. Man, Meter, dude, we're coming up on about 3 hours here. This has been excellent, dude. We need to have you back on soon, I think. I've become even more of a fan, dude. I've always had a lot of respect for you, and this has just been excellent, to be honest. But we do have some questions from the Discord, from the PTG Discord that we got. A lot of people had some stuff in there for you, so if you don't mind, we'd like to get through some of those.
Yeah, actually,
you rapid fire, baby.
Yeah, you've got quite a few in here. Marsh, do you have one that you want to hit first, or you want me to go?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
From the Beard, he wants to know about your thought process about studying new layouts leading up to a tournament. He's newish. He's a newish player to the competitive scene, and they just changed layouts at their field for an upcoming tournament. So he wants to know how to navigate that.
Yes.
Oh, and he also said beard game or stash game. That's an important one.
Fire response.
Stash. I like the stash. Hey, I got the beard. I got the beard, but if I could do this, I could. It's just I can't commit. I got commitment issues with that.
It's heavy.
But you're holding it on for both of us. So all three of us, really. You're crushing.
Dude, I don't know how this happened. It's crazy.
But
shout out to the Harmons.
For the field, I think it's really important to figure out. It sucks looking at on paper. I'm not the biggest advocate for that personally. I'd rather see it in person, feel it. Obviously, if you get to play on it, that's the best case. But if you're looking at it, look at the kill spots. Where you got to go to kill people, where you can go to live. Is it a field that rewards a side? Like, is the snake side straight down? If this is a big thing I have seen in this generation of paintball that lacks. Whenever you're blessed with a straight snake, get in that mother, like that is it. That's all you got to do. You got to get all the way down and use the 120 feet wall and play that. Learn how to master that. Or if you're not the snake guy, get your, help your snake player understand that role. And especially when you're given gifts like that. Dorito side, we see a bunch of dynamic Dorito sides and not so much the traditional layouts that were, the two ladders down both sides. But whenever you get those, the offensive typically is the one that gets rewarded on that type of field. And just understanding like what you're looking at for fields, like if it's a complex field, if it's a bash, head-on collision field, and that comes with experience. But where you're at, is this the beard?
This is the beard.
The beard. Where you're at, the beard, depending on your play style, if you're a shooter, you got to figure out the best lanes, the 100%, or the high percentage shots, and then the quick shots. Like that makes you much more dangerous, especially with wherever you're at in your playing career. It seems like you're newish, so you're probably in the lower divisions. I mean, that being masterful in those fundamentals is like everything. That's what separates, you from everybody at that level.
Yeah. Absolutely. That was great. We got one from Rounder. You kind of already answered this. You've really been stepping it up lately, he says, and what has changed and who has left? What has changed or who has left for him to be able to make those moves and play that aggressive now? So, how have you been taking that?
Yeah, confidence in as far as like aggressiveness, or if it's a speed thing, confidence in like what I can do, what I'm like physically capable of doing. And I mean,
the workouts too. You said you've been doing the workouts.
No, yeah, it's the workouts. I mean, that helps a lot. But then as far as like when it comes to the play style, you always have to be a threat. And in today's game, I started as the one, and I haven't been the one for some time. And that doesn't mean I can't be the one. It just means we have great ones. So I got to go do something else. And so now I've become really good at reading, reacting, and solving the problem that's about to happen, and be, on the winning side of the scramble. And with that, it's a switch. So you got to be observant of the game, play your position. But when the time comes or you see the opportunity, that window, you can't be, too out of touch to what you go do, what you're good at going and doing. So, playing the position and then being ready to be the attacker and clean it up and just get the thread off the field is a major part of my game today, this season.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. All right. From Pisgah Range. I don't know how to pronounce that. I know he makes laces though. Awesome laces.
Yeah, he does.
Pretty sweet. Got to check out his Instagram and pick some up. But he wants to know if you've had the chance to 1v1 Matt since the Ultimate Shootout Finals, and if so, who won?
No, I haven't.
No,
I haven't.
Got to go get that one back there.
Yeah.
Coin duel.
Yeah.
All right, so we got one from Steve, SoCal Blaze. Steve's the man. He's a huge supporter in the community. If you were to build a team, would you take players with mad skills to win early but have shitty attitudes, or a player that you could teach but not going to win right away and has great mojo with other guys?
I feel like I'm one. Of course, I mean, the way that's set up, the second one's like the better thing, but I will rebuttal with this. I feel like I can change the shitty attitudes of those guys. So I'd rather just get the skillful people that are my friends in this moment, because I don't want to, I've already done that. I don't want to do that. So I want to go for wins personally. And if we're all driven to win, then that's what I'm about personally. But of course, the right answer would be to train other people and blah, 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 blah. I've done that though.
It's tough because if you have players that, have all the skills but shitty attitudes, it's going to be really tough to win. It's going to be tough to bring that group together. There's a fine line there, right? There's a fine line with how they can coincide.
For sure, a fine line.
Yeah,
that's a difficult one. I've been a part of another. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
tell you what I told
for
you.
the dub.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the win. But that's me. I want wins.
Yeah. Well, she's wondering, the first time you stepped onto a pro field, going up against people that you looked up to, when did you finally get that aha moment, or like you really made it? Was there a breaking through point on that?
The aha moments came before I went pro, for sure. I remember vividly, like when I went pro and we were playing in Dallas actually, so that was pretty surreal. Had like a bunch of friends there. They had the signs and playing with X Factor. We played, I think, Excessive first or someone first, and I kind of dominated a little bit. So it was like, yeah, I felt like I belong here. I did my time in Division One. I felt like I definitely belonged to be where I was. So the aha moment happened way before. But to that end, to be on the same field as the people that I looked up to was awesome. And beating some of those guys was incredible. I remember my first gunfight with Fedorov, and I shot him. I was like, not so bad. We got this. We can. But it's a gunfight, 50-50. But it still is like that moment. I was like, yeah, we can hang. We can definitely hang.
Yeah. Yeah, totally, man. Having those big moments is crucial for moving into the future. I know that Marcelo and myself, when we were young, had those kind of things, and it really does boost you into the future for what you're doing. Let's see.
I got one from CM Harry. This is actually a really good question. What was the best or biggest moment in your paintball career?
Man, there's been a lot. The World Cup, the 2013 World Cup, super memorable. Just because, I mean, that was the first win X Factor has had in so long. It was my rookie year. Paul Richards, Alex. I mean, all the emotions were pretty awesome for that one. But to make it a little more, a little something else. Man, favorite paintball memory. I don't know. The Malaysia event was pretty damn fun.
That event,
to
was
be
sick.
honest,
Yeah,
that was like a pretty fun one. Just because of the whole experience. I mean, we won the event. We had a pretty awesome crew. We just
food,
did it.
rode
It was just,
mopeds around all day, jumping
yeah,
waterfalls, beautiful scenery, all
it
the
was
homies.
great.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, that was just like the embodiment of what like a dirter film was. Like the contract Soldier of Misfortune, that's like we got to live that over in a weekend. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's rad. All right, BK Reese is wondering about the Ultimate Shootout, and do you feel like it upped your game, or how do you feel about one-on-ones? Should they keep the Ultimate Shootout going? He's wondering about all that.
They for sure should keep it going. I love a one-on-one format. I think there should be many formats. There should be 4-on-4. There should be like 8-on-8. There should be weird formats that haven't been played with. We always go to the 3, 5, and 7, and 10. It's like, well, there's a number. We got other numbers too that haven't been experimented with that we should see. To the Ultimate Shootout, I would love that, and that's where my criticism constructively comes to Go Sports is like, why abandon that? You got 2-point-something million views on the video of me and Mark Johnson. Like, why go away from that?
Damn, is that how many they got? Wow. Yeah, the proof is in the pudding.
YouTube. Yeah, YouTube.
Sheesh.
And that's where I'm, not to go on a tangent, but that's where I'm frustrated because so that's liquid gold, or binary gold in today's age of viral video. And
absolutely,
I got goose egg from it. I'm not looking for money, but like I didn't get a follow. I didn't get, there's no chain, it's a broken chain link. Nothing happened. Nothing from 2.4 million. Nothing came to me in any shape, way, or form, really.
Oh, that's curious though. Why do you think that is?
I mean, they don't, and if you're not at Demetrius Ninios on the thing and at Mark Johnson, the user Instagram, if you're not feeding links to people aren't clicking today.
Totally.
It's just
yeah.
The amount of impressions that you need. The impressions for advertising, it used to be like 3. So like back in the 50s when you saw the red Mustang or red car convertible, within 3 impressions of it, people were like, I need that. I recognize that. And today it's like, I don't know what it is now, but when I did hear this, it was like something like 22 impressions for something to actually.
And then it was like 7. 7 was the number for a long time. And yeah, now it's like 20 something or even 30.
I think it's 30 something.
People are just flooded constantly over and over. I know about this, how advertisers just try to get stuff in front of you as much as possible. I know about it. I'm aware of it. And yet still, if I see something enough times, I'm like, I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, you got me. You got me. I've seen it 100 times in the last 2 weeks. Looks kind of cool.
Yeah. And there's even a reverse thing too, is why that number grows is like, we're like kind of evolving to not take in advertisement. That's why advertisements are so hidden now. I mean, before when you could just say skip advertisements, like, oh yeah, no brainer. But now you're getting fed posts on your Instagram or something, or TikTok or whatever it is you're on, that looks like content created by Marcelo or Tyler. And it is, but it's by X and X brand, and you just got paid to do the commercial for it. And they just subliminally hide it that way because we kind of, figured out how to not read advertising, which is nuts.
Yeah. And if you say anything now, it shows up on your phone and it's like, oh man, they're really going for it.
Yeah.
The advertising's nuts these days. All right. So OJ, he's wondering, what are you most excited about, looking forward to with Astra Invitational? Do you have any plans, including novel film techniques in the post-production, which we kind of talked about earlier, and just wondering about all that?
Yeah. So super excited for the Astra Invitational. What I'm expecting from it, I mean, already it's surpassed expectation, for sure. Because like I said, it was designed to be a little more low key and then more of a surprise. But since you saw the present before Christmas, I'm excited to see. To the post-production and all that, there's nothing that anyone, if I told you anything, I'd be lying to you. Until I see the games, until we see what we have, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll find out together.
That's it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, I got just one more, I think, unless you do as well, Ty. Honestly, a lot of the questions are things we already discussed and talked about, which is good. It means we're on the same wavelength with our supporters and asking the right questions of you. But this one's kind of fun. It's from Pisgah Range again. If you could tell any player starting out their tournament paintball journey 3 things to help them out in the long run, what would those 3 things be and why? And then secondly, are you taking part in the PTG sauna challenge? And if not, why are you scared?
No, not scared. I have a sauna in the crib.
Oh,
what?
shit.
Dude.
The crib came with the sauna.
King. Get out of here, bro.
I promise. I'll send a pic. Hey, tonight I will join the
sauna challenge.
All
right.
What was the first? Oh, the tips.
3 things. Yeah.
3 things. Play as much as you can. 100%. You got to play as much as you can, for many reasons. Obviously, to get the experience. 2, to learn and meet the people that are around you and wherever you are geographically. It's important to, not be a new face in those groups. The sooner you get out of that awkward stage, the better it is. People recognize you. You'll be able to have a lot more opportunities to go play. And so those are 2. The third, oh man, I mean, until you keep doing some of those things, but
repeat steps 1 and 2.
yeah, rinse, repeat. But no, I think it's really important to align yourself with people who have the same goals as you in paintball, right? I think that's where a lot of even to lighten up on the Ironmen, my experience with Ironmen and all that, is like, you have to align yourself with what you not only think, but what these other guys want from the game and what they want out of paintball. Because we all play for a specific, if you haven't thought it through, then think it through. Stop going through motions and play with purpose. Shout out to Archie for that one. But you got to play and think and breathe and do all that stuff with purpose. And the better you can align yourself with people like that in life, in paintball and anything, the deeper you'll go. And that's what we all want. We all want to get to whatever our apotheosis is, which is like the climax. It's the pursuit of that. That's what we want. We're all trying to get that apotheosis, baby.
Mm-hmm. Is your tournament series going to be a one-off, or is it going to be something that we can see every once in a while? Or are you going to have this is from Dorfster. Shout out to Dorfster.
Shout out to Dorfster. I appreciate you. But so that's been the hot topic. we gotta say we are not a league. I'm not. We, Astra, me, no one a part of my circle. We're not a threat to the NXL. I am a NXL supporter for sure. Do I want to do a different event? Of course, because I think we could do something really cool with a weird format and bring in different inclusions of the game, making it where each match is worth something, whether it's whatever you want to do with that, you will. But a match should be worth something, in my opinion. And that idea was given to me by Ryan Brand. And after further thought on that, I totally think we should be playing. Each match should mean something, whether it's a financial thing, whether it's whatever it is. You need it to be more than just this pursuit for that first place prize, in my opinion, because we can with the sport. We can do something unique with the way these matches matter to you, whether you're gaining, whether it's like a purse or something, you're gaining money as you progress through the tournament, or if you're 0-3 and then you win the last match and you get a little kickback of something like that. I think that should be incentivized, and I think that is where we should go. I would love to experiment. I plan on doing that. When? Who knows? Right now, there's no weekends available. The only reason I did this weekend was because no pros or semi-pros would be anywhere until they made that event open. And I was like, oh, oops. But we're just stuck on a calendar, really, to do a lot of stuff until later in the year, like December or something like that. But who knows? I want to do something else. But the bigger thing is I want other people to do something else. I want to go play Tyler Harmon's tournament. I want to go play Marcel's tournament so I can go play. X Factor can't play an event that I'm a part of. At least I don't think you should. I think that gray area. But
totally.
I like to do something after announcing this Astra Invitational and doing more pro stuff, because I feel like I can speak to that. There was a time and place I felt like I could speak to the whole thing. I'm no longer in that place. I'm not as connected to the divisional world as I was, or, should be, or, whatever it is. So I got a lot of messages about, when is there going to be an event for us divisional guys? And I don't know, but it has inspired me to think about something that we can do. Maybe there's something that we can do together, whether it's like a 7-man event where we all play in it. Like, you invite pros and then you open it up to whoever else wants to sign up, right? That could be cool. I don't know, but I'm open to ideas, and I'm open to ideas like publicly. Like, we should all be airing this stuff out and doing more things and taking more risk on your own instead of blaming and pointing fingers. Oh, why don't you do this? Why don't It's like they're doing everything they can. Yeah. It's time for you. I employ you to do something.
Yeah. I love that, man. And that's taking it all and putting it on your shoulders and running with it and having fun with the whole process, like we talked about. So where can people keep up with you on IG so they can follow you?
At Dimitri Christos. That's it. And then for Astra, it's Astra at astra.rsrch, astra.research.
Awesome. And I'm sure you want to probably give a shout out to your supporters and sponsors and everything.
Got a shout out to my parents. They're the ones who made this entire thing happen. I didn't totally drop the ball by not bringing that whole thing up. But I mean, without my mom and dad, I drove them crazy. I mean, imagine sending your kid off at 14 to go do this crazy thing, and all the things that I've gone and been able to go do. It's all because of them. So shout out to my mom and dad, my biggest supporters. Shout out to Alex Martinez, who is like another father figure in my life. And shout out to our sponsors, JT, Planet Eclipse. We have Dye as a sponsor. Shout out to X Factor Paintball Park for giving us the facility and everything. Shout out to everyone who supports our team, supports paintball as a whole. And thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to share my stories and
Heck yeah, dude. Thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, the pleasure was all ours, man. Thank you so much. We'll like I said, definitely have to have you back on. Who knows, maybe even in the near future after the event. I'd like to catch up, see how it goes or how it went.
I'd love to.
But dude, again, thank you. We're gonna send you a Discord link too, so you could come in and show off your sauna.
I want to be in the PTG fan, baby. I've been a supporter forever.
Hell yeah, love that.
It's lit.
Awesome, man.
It's cracking off in there.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, thank you for everything. Thank you for all that you're doing for paintball. Good luck with the invitational, and we will chat with you soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right. Peace, brother.
Peace. That was a banger. Don't know what else to say. We probably could have talked to Meter for another 2 hours. He really laid a lot of it on the line, and I love that. I appreciate that so much. He shared a lot with us. He really opened up with the PTG world and the rest of the paintball community, and just kept it OG, kept it 100, to be honest. It was really insightful and really, really a good conversation. I can't wait, like I said, to have Meter back on, and massive thank you to him. Wish him nothing but success, and for everybody, all the supporters, the Discord members, we are going to send him a link and try to get him in there, so you guys can strike up some conversation with him over at the PTG Discord. You can find that by becoming a Patreon supporter at ptgpaintball.com. Click the Patreon link and sign up at any level. You get access to our Discord, which is the most dope community that we've been building. It's really awesome. There's just tons of cool individuals in there that absolutely crush it, go above and beyond, and it's cool to see them forming some real relationships and friendships with each other. That's what it's all about. We're here to connect the paintball community, and there's a way that you guys can join and support the show. So if you would like to, those are the steps. Our website is brought to you by Rusty Glaze at Constant Pursuit. Rusty is phenomenal at web building, so if you need any web work done, just head over to rustyglaze.com constantpursuit.com, and make sure to email Rusty Glaze. Let him know Play the Game sent you, and if you guys are starting a business or a field or a small company, young entrepreneur, whatever it might be, and you want to look more professional, a website is the way to do it. All right, PTG fam, thank you guys, and until next time, see you soon.